to the Gamegasm Podcast. We put the O in radio. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy.
For 9-4, I'm going to glide and swerve. So, Brian.
Nice.
I was going to go 1-4, but...
Were you going to go Versace?
No.
Versace?
And
I'm Andrew. What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome to the Gamegasm Podcast.
Yay!
Welcome back.
How have you guys been?
I've been
For
fantastic.
6 days.
I'm aching and longing for both your touches.
I will say, it's like, how have you guys been since the last time I talked to you? I talk to you all the time at work, and I talk to you all the time, every day on Skype.
Yeah.
So we call each other 3 or 4 times a week, so it's like...
So we can't bring up like any new things we haven't talked about usually for the beginning segment where we're supposed to...
Oh, Brian touched a dead guy.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to... Actually, that was a story last week. I didn't know we really go that way. My wife listens to this, she's going to be all bummed out. We're going to my parents' house.
Yeah.
And we're going to the grocery store. I know, it's like, wow, this is a great story.
I threw that on you, motherfucker.
Yeah, you
like,
did.
oh, well, shit.
You did. So anyways, we're going to my parents' house because I had to use the restroom, and I didn't want to go to stage. You know, I don't go to DEFCON 2 at a grocery store. Wasn't
Surely you mean DEFCON 5.
Well, I
think
think
people do that.
it doesn't matter what DEFCON is. I had to take a shit, and I was going to a Duke, DEFCON 2.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go to the bathroom. So go to my parents'
Defecate.
house. Yeah, exactly. And we're driving around my mom and dad's neighborhood. My wife noticed a person laying down, and bear in mind, there's snow on the ground. You know, it's like 3 inches of snow, and it's cold as shit.
Maybe they're just tired.
Obviously taking a nap in the snow.
Yeah, half
what I
out
would
of his
do.
garage, half out of his garage, and his wife's just like pushing on him, and she's like, somebody's just laying down there. Maybe she needs trying to get him up. Maybe she needs help getting him up. So I'm like, fine, you know, I'm prairie dog. I'm about to tuck it back in. We'll go around. We'll do a U-turn. We go back, and like she's really shuffling this dude, like pushing on him. It's like, this dude's like really stuck, or he doesn't want to get the fuck up. I'm making this light of this to try to make it less somber because it's fucking terrible. So well, go ahead and get out and see if they need help. So I'll help pick the guy up because he's not that big, and I could probably help him lift him up. So she gets out there and she has this look on her face, and it's like, you just like, ooh, like maybe I shouldn't have, like, you know, your buddy and his girlfriend are fighting, and you're out there, you're like, oh god, I don't want to be here. It's like, oh, that face. So she stays there for a second, and the chick's on the phone. So finally she comes back, and she goes, I don't know if he's breathing. I can't see. It's bad. So I'm like, well, shit. She's like, she's trying to do she's trying to do CPR, and I can tell she's breathing in his mouth. And I don't know if anybody knows, if you know CPR, you don't do that anymore. It is just 3 heart palpitations and rotation.
The new CPR patch notes have come out.
Yes.
We've nerfed breathing in the mouth.
Yeah, it's not very effective. It's
Nobody
not going to
likes
start
mouth
the heart.
breathers anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're married. I'm sure it's cool, but still, I'm not breathing this dude's mouth. I mean, I would have, but it was not necessary. So I go up there, and she's on the phone, and she's telling him, like, he won't wake up. He won't get up. He slipped, he fell. And I'm thinking to myself, they're probably thinking he fell. So I get there, and I'm like, I know CPR. So I start the CPR on him, and I didn't look at his face or anything because his head's back, and I'm just focusing on his chest, finding where I should be on his breastplate. I'm pumping his heart, and you know, she's talking, and finally I'm like, listen, I'm gonna check for this guy's pulse. So I check his hand, nothing. So I'm like, you know what? If you have a faint pulse or you're really hurt, you won't often see it on a wrist.
Neck.
So I do that. When I get on the neck, I realize, one, this dude's cold.
Oh, and not just from the weather cold?
No, it's a cold to the touch.
Did you go, you're as cold as ice?
We were not. That's a bad
Breaking
song.
out in song there would
It's
probably be
an
inappropriate.
point, you know. So I find there's no pulse there, and then I look at his face, and I realize his pupils are fully dilated.
Yeah.
Usually, dilation's going to start in 5 minutes or so. If you're fully dilated, you're probably been dead for a while. So I'm thinking, you know, to tell us, hey, try to say there's no heartbeat. So
your husband's fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we'd have opened with that.
Your husband got shit on.
She's not realizing. She's not
This is a
realizing
MOBA.
any of this stuff, dude. She's just in panic mode, and it's just he won't wake up. You know, it's actually really, really depressingly sad. And so I kept. She's like, they said to keep doing the heart thing. I'm like, that's fine.
The heart thing.
You know, that's what she said. You know,
The
like, fine.
technical term.
So I'm like, he's out for the count, kind of thing. And I was like, wanted to tell her there's no heartbeat, so at least you could tell them, they could tell the paramedics there's no heartbeat, his eyes are dilated this much, so you can at least know, come out with the paddles, So finally we hear the fire truck and stuff, and so I go ahead to the car, because paramedics are here, they're going to...
What good are you?
Exactly. They're doing the same thing I am. I don't have a defibrillator with me. I left it in my other pants. So at this point, I see them, they get there, and my wife and I, we go to my parents' house, we come back, and we realize the ambulance is leaving. There's no lights on.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
It was.
I mean,
it was weird.
Way to bring that up.
Yeah, it's like
God.
we're trying to be, funny about it, I guess, and as funny as you can be about death. But that's not cool. I mean,
it's
that
sad,
sucks.
because he was probably in his, I would have to think, late 50s, early 60s, and they were married, so who knows how long. But it's possible it was like a very, very long time, you know. And it was just kind of, I think, took my wife aback because she was not comprehending.
She literally looked at a dead person.
Yeah, and this lady wasn't comprehending anything. She's picking his head up, and I could hear it hit a little bit on the concrete, which is weird, And when you look in his face, if you've ever been in a funeral, except for the obviously they sew their mouth shut, but other than that, you're looking, this dude is dead.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of crazy to think about. I mean, like, I don't know CPR, and in a situation like that, I'm kind of glad I don't, in a way, because that's it's a good thing you did that, but man, that's kind of an awkward situation to be in.
It is. Because let's say she literally is like 10 houses from my parents. I don't know her from Adam. I've never met the lady. But it's sort of a neighbor, and you're trying to help out. But what do you do? And at this point, I wasn't too worried because I wasn't going to hurt the guy.
Yeah.
I could have gone out there and done whatever. He was going to make it. So yeah, that's an interesting story, I guess.
Why did you bring that up? You're a dick.
I'm a morbid cocksucker.
That's right.
Anyway, let's
So we went from penises to dead guys, and somehow I feel not talking about penises is actually maybe a downstep.
I think next episode we talk about dead guys' penises. That's the only logical next step.
You might have a point.
It's the only way to go.
I'm done. Unanimous. Next episode.
Main topic, maybe.
Dead guy penis.
Necrophilia.
I'm going to have to do some research.
Pros, cons. Yeah, there you go.
Can you get a pulse from the grundle?
I'm willing to try. You guys can try and get my pulse from my grundle currently.
We have to kill you first.
Well, no. Just like currently, it's easy to do a pre and post death. See if you can do it before.
We can't do that. Oh, we can't do that.
You just have to pretend you're dead, because then otherwise it's gay.
Oh, well, if I just pretend I'm dead, then it's definitely not
dead. Even though we know you're pretending.
If we pretend he's dead, we're going to get a false positive we may not know.
I think it would take brutal anal sex then.
Yeah.
We have
to get blood to the area.
You guys, you guys touching my grundle was fine. You guys rough anal sex were not. Nope.
You're saying you don't want a DP.
No means yes.
No. DP.
He's dead. He can't say no.
I know.
We're trying to save a life.
I don't think you're going to rationalize this to really anyone.
Save a life, ride a dead guy, or something like that.
Oh, God. For our main topic, we may have to add that.
Oh, God.
That type of music.
Save a life, ride a dead guy.
There we go. That's
not going to be a new hit song, by the way. I mean,
it's better than the fucking actual song. Yeah. The song's fucking terrible.
We lighten the mood up.
Yes.
Okay, on to the mailbag.
With grundle pulse.
Yeah, because we don't often actually have a legit real story to tell.
No.
None of us knew. It was like, wow.
Yeah. So let's answer some questions.
Let's do it.
Okay. Wow.
This is always a fucking travesty in the first 5 minutes.
It's always a travesty the whole way through. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to get the shark back in the tank. But it's been jumped. We were on those fucking water skis.
Nope. Fuck it. Jesus. Let's just talk about this the entire podcast. Fuck the mailbag. Fuck your questions.
Okay. So the first question I got is from XX720 Silent Sniper Scope XXX. Not really, but that's actually what he put. So his actual name is Hans from Norway.
Nice. Hans from Norway.
Hans, that was awesome. Finally, somebody appreciated the fact that there's just fucking terrible games.
Yeah, that's nice.
Out there. And by the way, we're gonna have a kind of a worldwide little bit episode here. I keep the locations coming. Don't know why I like that, but I actually kind of do. So rocking out Norway.
Does he type in an accent though?
Everything had an umlaut.
Really? Oh, nice.
And he pluralized everything.
All the consonants, everything.
He's like, Hans, he's like, I'm from Norways. I likes games. I plays lots of games at times.
Is he Toki Wartooth? Or?
And Swiskar. They both do it. Toki's from Norway.
Yeah, Swiskar's from Sweden, though.
God, Metal Awesome so great.
All fucking Scandinavians. It's cold. Except for Denmark really isn't, but that's not the point.
Fucking Denmark.
I know.
Germany's hat.
Something like that. I'm sure that's how they always refer to themselves. The Dutch. Swiskar would say. Yeah. You can call them Dutch. It doesn't matter. Okay, so Hans, he wanted to know what we thought about the ESO business model.
Yeah?
It's a two-part question. So the first part is ESO. Essentially, they're doing it like a WoW.
Yep.
What do we feel about that? Should they, like Guild Wars being free to play, or other games that are, more
pay to win, or buy to play, where you buy the game, but the monthly cost is $0.
Like that's how Guild Wars is, right?
The old Guild Wars was you just buy the game and it was free. And it was just
play.
yeah. I like how they're doing their model. I think because in a way, at least in recent MMOs, it seems that if once you go kind of that free to play and then with some sort of in-game market, that you die.
Right.
Or not die, and die using gigantic quotations. I mean, you may not die, but you kind of you're not in the running for one of the top MMOs. You're not. People don't talk about you in the same breath as they do a WoW. I mean, let's not think that
microtransactions.
Like ESO is not going to dethrone WoW. Let's get that out there now. That is not happening.
A lot of people act like it is. I mean, logistically speaking, it's just not. Because one, all the people have so much involved, and two, you're thinking, even though WoW is quote unquote dying, it's still over 7 million base play.
Yes, I don't think they've got a fucking issue.
No.
And every MMO that's ever come out, it's gonna be the next WoW killer.
Every single one.
Yeah. So I know what you mean. It's not gonna kill WoW.
No, and I don't even think that's not the question, but the model. I like the model. I like starting there because honestly, in my opinion, whenever you go to that free to play, microtransaction model, in a way, I think you're kind of admitting defeat, but you still want to make money off your game.
Yeah, you're throwing in the towel. You're saying actually, I had a conversation yesterday with Andy, and he said that he kind of liked Let's Goob for whatever the uninitiated. He actually mentioned he kind of liked Guild Wars and said that they kept coming out with content.
Yes, the first one they did. That's the only one I can speak on.
Even though they were free to play, their content was still decent, and it still came out in a roundabout form, and that's fine to me. But here's the thing: you don't have to copy WoW's gameplay. WoW is doing something very correct. They make a fuck ton of money, and they continually produce content.
And it's a fairly easy game to understand.
So at that point, why wouldn't you? You're going to buy the game, you're going to pay monthly service, because that service is paying for the servers, the content, the developers to keep doing out patches and new content. That's the best model. I don't see another good model, personally.
The thing that I like about the model is that it gives me, you've heard, don't vote, don't bitch. If you don't vote, you can't complain about the president you get, for our American listeners. It's kind of like that. In the fact that I'm paying a monthly fee. I have the right to complain if I don't like something. Yeah. And you have to listen to me because I'm a paying customer. Customer? I can be a customer.
You are a customer.
I'm a paying customer that you have to listen to. What are you going to say, fuck off? You can't. I pay you $15 a month. I buy the right to complain if you don't patch something properly, if something's imbalanced, if your servers are slow as fuck, if I can't connect. I have that freedom now. So you're not only buying you're not only buying the fact that they're going to keep all that updated, you're also buying the ability to complain about it if you do have an issue.
Yes.
If I got a free game like say Smite, it's a free-to-play game, you can play the game in its entirety without paying a dime and still enjoy it every step of the way. But so many people bitch about that game, and it kills me because it's free. You didn't put $1 into it, or you didn't have to put $1 into it. You chose to put money into it, and it's in beta. Yet you choose to complain about it.
Yeah.
And offering suggestions and complaining are two different things. And, saying something's unbalanced.
There's a lot of complaints.
But people are like, oh, fucking this or fucking
that's online anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to the internet.
The point being is that the MMO model, I think the only right way to do it is
the WoW model, which is what they're copying.
The only thing I have to say about that is that no game's really come out that's done anything that's had a pay-to-play model, but no MMO's really come out that's done anything without a pay-to-play model either. That's come close to WoW now.
Oh, agreed.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know of a better way to do it.
Maybe there is, we just don't know of it yet. But I agree.
And they've promised updates and added content every 4 to 6 weeks. So that's something that WoW doesn't really do.
Yeah. His other question. Real quick.
Oh, he has 2 questions?
Yeah. 2 separately.
You greedy fuck.
I know. He's like, I don't vote for presidents.
God damn it, Hans.
Please have a fucking king. That's what he's saying up there, Tales from the Borderlands. It's a Telltale game.
Yep.
Anybody play it? Know about it?
It's not out yet.
But thoughts on it?
Telltale was the company, if you guys don't know, that came out with the new Walking Dead game.
Yes, I knew that.
And it was a extremely story-based game. Had a very good story. And it was kind of like a point-and-click style game where you click around the world and you have to find clues and move on to the next area.
Well, that's neat.
The cool thing about it, though, was that game gave you choices. And you had to choose things that would affect your relationships with other people. So if you chose to, say you guys were characters in the game and I'm the player, I can choose to save one of you. One of you's going to die. And that obviously will affect the storyline later on.
We should band together and let him die.
All right, you're dead.
And I'm the player. Is that what happens when I die?
That's actually pretty.
technically
That's actually
speaking,
pretty good.
yes.
We are what, 11 episodes in, and you've still yet to mute your motherfucking phone?
You know,
He wanted the death animation sound.
the
for Mega
one
Man.
time I did mute it, Jay my wife was like, "Well, you didn't answer my text." See, so like she can hear this and listen.
Jada, you're fucking up the podcast.
I actually did leave it on for you.
Aw.
She just asked me a question. I know.
You're willing to ruin the podcast because the podcast is ruined. We have to start over.
Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But seriously, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Telltale. So the thing about it is like you are being attacked by a zombie, and he's about to get. I think there was something where a guy's not paying attention, and he's about to get like
AIDS.
The guy's about to get attacked by a zombie, and there's a kid playing on a lawnmower that's about to fall into it or something like that. You got to save one of them. You can only save one. So that decision, if you save you, if your father is going to grow in relationship with me, and your brother may fall in relationship with me because I saved one of the other. You know what I mean? So
Kind of makes sense, yeah.
If they continue that pattern into the Borderlands, I think it could be really neat.
Especially like a different take on Borderlands.
The one issue that I have is that the Walking Dead game did not use actual Walking Dead characters.
They may not have the licensing.
Probably.
I mean,
But-
just my.
I don't... Can you just make up Borderlands characters? I mean,
I don't
it's
see why
not a
not.
massive thing like The Walking Dead is, to where you can put somebody in that zombie apocalypse and it may still work. You know what I
because
mean?
the Borderlands world is just the Borderlands world. It's just any arbitrary world essentially, and I mean it's got an identity because of Borderlands the
It's
game.
more
But
of a style.
Yeah,
than an
but
actual
you can't
place
just
like
throw
Walking
an
Dead. Yeah.
apocalyptic, cell-shaded world in and then go, oh yeah, this is obviously Borderlands. There's got to be some tie to it, and if you're not using real names...
Well, you could use maybe the merchant guy. You could use.
Yeah, but if you don't have...
If you have
don't
no
the
names, you
licensing-
could just copy him.
You can, but nobody from the Walking Dead was copied. So it becomes is it gonna have the same gusto? You know what I mean?
The
Is it
same
gonna
canon, if
yeah,
you will.
basically. Is it gonna have the same draw when people are like, oh, fucking Walking Dead, it's the farmhouse? Because they had a farmhouse, and you know that instantly. Are they going to have something like that in Borderlands that draws you into it that closely?
That's interesting. I didn't know exactly what it was because I'd heard something about Borderlands and Walking Dead being associated by some developer, and I had no idea what it was in reference to. That sounds kind of... I'm interested to see it just because
Yeah.
more Borderlands.
Good question, Hans. And in closing, food libraries.
Mm.
Food libraries.
Is that a grocery store?
Yeah, it's a grocery store.
Not,
Nice.
You know what our cargo mine rates?
yeah.
Oh, you know, like spaghettis.
That is
paper
one of the best
towels.
episode.
Oh, it's amazing.
They have to go shopping for
And
themselves.
Fintrolls.
Isn't that like
And
one of the?
Fin Trolls.
Isn't that one of like the first
It's one-
episodes?
yeah,
I think it actually
season
is like
one.
the
Yeah.
first episode.
Yeah, it is because they lose their cook.
Yeah, because they
Hans, what we're talking about is Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
oh,
And
he
they just-
knows. He's
Isn't he from Norway?
Yeah, but that means
Well,
they
he's
watch
obvi-
yes, it
Metalocalypse.
does.
he obviously.
Yes, it does.
I'm sure you get Cartoon Network.
What
and-
are you, stupid?
My God.
That's actually their national anthem.
If you're
The
from
Metalocalypse
America.
theme,
They
isn't
do.
it?
And maybe I think it's probably they don't have
Thunder.
a bad one. That's better than every
Thunder Horse.
anthem out there. Okay, so now we got Marcus. He's from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Come on,
Come on,
raise up.
Raise up.
I knew a Petey Pablo reference would happen. That's why I put his location.
That's nice.
Nice.
He's Petey Pab, motherfucker. He's asking, do we have any big YouTubers that we watch that we don't know personally?
No. I don't, because I am a YouTuber and I don't have time to watch other people.
Dick.
Honestly, like I watch a little bit of like Dry Bear in the evenings if I'm going to sleep.
You know him.
but I know. But yeah,
That's what he actually asked. Anything we don't know.
I know. I've talked to Dry Bear a couple times, this guy, but I don't know that I know him. But no, I don't.
I mean, the only one I watch, and once again, the guys that I watch are not video game related. I watch.
Yeah, me too.
I watch really just.
Did he say video game?
No.
Okay.
Just big YouTubers.
I have an answer then.
He actually just asked other YouTubers. And mine is Warhammer. I watch a lot of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, not 40K, but Fantasy Battle reports from a few certain guys. And that's, what I do. That's about the only thing I really watch on YouTube that would be people I don't know.
I can't remember this guy's name. I can't remember his channel's name either.
This is off to a
But
bad start.
He does like a 20 facts about science thing, and it's two brothers.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I couldn't come up with a name for it.
I can't remember his name, but those guys are pretty interesting. They're pretty funny, and I watch all the epic rap battle stuff.
There you go.
Lil
Like,
Dicky, Lil D-I-C-K-Y.
I just don't go to, like,
Little Dicky.
my wife will go
Left
to
with soap
YouTube.
penis.
and will just like randomly look at shit for hours. I just don't do that.
Vines?
Unless I'm going to a specific thing I want
watch so
to
many
see
Vines. I don't.
on YouTube. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So, but good question, an interesting one.
I think so, and it's relevant.
He's probably looking for other good YouTubers to recommend. I don't watch a lot of them, sadly.
No.
I take that back. I do watch not a lot, not religiously, but I do watch Sea Nanners on occasion.
Well, like a lot of people watch him.
Yeah.
There you go. I've seen his name up before.
Yeah.
You know,
What's
like recommended.
what's the one Swedish guy?
Bruntal Fungus.
No.
The guy who does all the lyrics for video game stuff. You just got pwned, FTW.
Nope.
He does
No, I have no clue.
You showed me that,
by the way, I
motherfucker.
think it's Mental Floss.
No, it's Bruntal.
The guys that I was thinking of. Mental Floss.
Okay. No, you showed me that one.
That was like back in WoW days. That was like 5 years ago.
I know, but he does a lot of lyrics. He does lyrics for like, Legend of Zelda and all that stuff. I watch his because they're pretty funny.
And Robaz.
Robaz. Yeah, my roommate.
Robaz King of Sweden.
King of Sweden. And the funny thing is, my roommate watches Robaz, and I don't know when he's watching Robaz. Except whenever I'm trying to sleep and I hear somebody yelling into a microphone in a Swedish accent because he's upstairs, got the shit blasted, and he's like, "Robaz, King of Sweden," and that was a terrible fucking Swedish accent.
That was.
But he's
fucking dental appointment.
fucking dental appointment.
You showed me that for the first time. Remember my house? That's good stuff. Good.
Yeah, it is.
Good question, Marcus. So now, continue with the global theme. We have Aaron. He says from Britain. I'm just going to go with the UK on this one because I don't know what part.
Around the
Probably just from
world,
fucking England.
Around the world.
Why'd you stop?
I know, dude. You know all the words.
Dance part.
My kids love to watch that
Versace,
music video
Versace.
for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the one with like the space helmet and
It's
shit? And they're like
there's
dancing around.
there's only like 4 guys that are in that space helmet,
Right.
but they have different kind of like.
But they're all like walking around on the circle.
Yeah,
thing.
and everybody's doing their own certain dance and
Right.
order, and I don't know. I kind
That's
of like
probably
the video.
why kids like to dance.
Oh well, it's bright, it's intricate, and it's got really simple things to follow.
Yeah.
No offense, Daft Punk.
Surprised women don't like it more.
Oh,
snap.
Oh snap! No, I'm just kidding.
It's not in the kitchen.
So Aaron is like a kid. He said he didn't get all. He loved our podcast, didn't get all of our references because he's younger. I don't know, he's like 7, but he's a teenager.
I hope not. Jesus Christ! I hope you're not 7.
Because man, the language you've put up with on this.
Yeah, the topics.
We just talked
are
about
bad.
a dead dude's grundle.
And they were going to brutally rape Andrew.
Yeah.
Because you can't rape the willing.
That's true.
Yeah.
He wants to know better. This is a really tough one to quantify, but better, retro or modern games? And he's referring to 7th generation, not that it really matters, but he specifically asked for that.
That's unfair because there's no question that retro gaming is better.
Clearly.
Well, and there's not enough. I mean, even if you were to try and realistically compare the two, 7th gen is current gen, right?
Eighth
No,
gen.
8th gen is just now.
But I mean, he's just saying, he wasn't saying don't worry about the brand new games. Just worry about the stuff that we've already seen come out.
I mean, it's obviously retro game. Also, too, depending on how he's defining retro games. I mean, do you find anything previous 7th gen? I mean,
He didn't give me clarification. I guess if I were mediating his question, I would assume probably like 5th or before.
but my
From your
answer stays the
childhood.
same. But just by fact of even if you were trying to realistically compare the two, I mean, the libraries are vastly different, and quality of games it's more about quantity of games now than it is about quality.
In a
my
lot of
opinion.
ways, they actually haven't gotten better. They've gotten better graphically, and you can do more in a game, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's better. I think a lot of times, what Andrew said, like, innovation, you're just churning out games so much more and similar content. A lot of your great series comes from a seed, and those old games do something you've never seen before, and it's hard to replace that feeling of newness.
Well, then the big thing that you have to think about when you think about retro versus new games is the fact that both are still fun, but both may not be fun right now. But back 10 years ago when I played that game, it was just as fun then as I'm having the blank fun playing Borderlands 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not a fair thing for his question, but let's say you're 10 right now. You're not listening to this podcast. Right now is your retro. So 15 years from now, the games then won't be as good as the games now. So retro is a really subjective
It's a sliding
statement.
scale, yeah.
Yeah. What you remember is always going to be better because they're the things you experience first. They're going to be stronger in your mind. And more importantly, I think also part of it, I guess the crux of his question is he's asking for us, our age range, of the games we played when we were younger, better than play the games we play now.
Yes.
And yes is the answer. Go back and play old games. You're going to have a blast.
And
honestly-
here's the reason why they had more liberties to take innovative measures back then that they don't have now. Because if you flop on a game because it was too
Your
innovative,
company may shudder.
you're fucked.
Like the Kingdoms of Amalur. That's a perfect example. They took a couple of risks.
They took some liberties.
And it was a really, really neat game overall, but they just didn't deliver on a lot of the things. They had big plans to put out an MMO, and they didn't. Their company actually shut down. And you're backed by a baseball superstar, I mean, who's a multi-millionaire.
And he went pretty much
bankrupt.
Yeah. So, what do you do? Which, by the way, what's the company? Speaking of companies shutting down, the company that created BioShock.
Oh,
it started with an I. Like Innovative Games, or no?
No, what the fuck? I just saw
Irrational Games.
Irrational Games, yes.
They're closing down.
Really?
Their last game that they're going to be producing that's an actual major system game is going to be the Burial at Sea Part 2. The DLC for BioShock Infinite.
Dude, it's so cost prohibitive to make games. It's very difficult.
By the way, Good Guy Bethesda's hiring a lot of their old employees that they're laying off right now.
Well.
They're going down to a 15-person company, and they're only going to make small indie games.
That's fucking I mean,
fucking indie games,
But
dude.
honestly, just to see, like...
A big player like that.
Because BioShock was huge, and now...
BioShock 2 was massive. BioShock Infinite was massive.
But they can just sell their IP and make money from that, and somebody will happily buy their IP and make the games in a very EA-ish way. Probably.
If EA buys BioShock...
Ugh.
Oh, God.
So last question.
Does not
give the fucking location. Get with the program.
Get with that program, bro.
That program, though.
It's a girl. So
theoretically,
she might not know where she's at. Directionally challenged.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's right. Eat it. Devil Ann. Yeah, good question. Really lengthy question, so it's gonna be hard to kind of explain it.
I'm gonna ask a question real quick.
Sure.
If we were to boil her ovaries, would they be deviled eggs?
Hey, eat a dick on the phone thing right now. Just to let you know.
My phone is on silent, motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. You struggled through that one. So. She's wanting to know about what she calls it breaking the illusion. She's all about being immersed in the game she's playing.
Sure.
Whatever the universe is, that's what she wants to be a part of. The thing she keys on initially is AI. She finds really bad AI to take her completely out of the game. Like, it's so bad I'm not in this universe. Or maybe the graphics are so terrible she can't become not one with the game, but not be one in that character. So she's wanting to know how we feel about those things taking us out of the game.
Depends on the game, to me. A game like...
well, some games are naturally more immersive or designed that way.
A game like... fucking... I don't know. Hitman. Or any of the stealthy games. They're like, what's this box doing in the middle of the hallway? Like, that wasn't there when I patrolled last time. And then it goes away. And nobody's alerted by that. Like, if I'm going to play a stealth game like Hitman... or any of the other games.
The first one, though, that was pretty good, because that one was fucking retarded difficult.
Hitman, the original Hitman was so hard. I need to go. There's a new one that came out like 2 or 3 years ago or something.
I played so much of that game.
I didn't play. I played
a
lot of the original Hitman.
I played a fuck ton of the first and the second one.
But anyway, you're a bald dude in a suit that you never looked different, yet nobody's got like a hit out on. You see a bald guy, grab him. So, like, that part of the thing, I know you can't do that because it's not part of the, it wouldn't be very fun because you'd be like, I'm dead.
And those games are designed to be more immersive, I would say. Some games like a platformer, what the fuck's it matter?
Right.
I'm not pretending I've ever been Mario.
Right.
But whenever I think about, like, being immersed in a game...
Luigi.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about being immersed in a game, I will say the first thing that comes to mind is not... AI. Like, no. That's a really, kind of in a way, a unique take that I wasn't expecting to go. That I wasn't expecting that question to go that way because, but you are right in asking that question. Is like when you're playing a shooter or something that the enemies have patterns, or even maybe a fighting game or something. You find out the pattern, and you're just like, cool. I'm just gonna do this pattern now, and I win.
Or you're playing Skyrim and you jump on a rock.
Well, like honestly, think of an RPG.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, it does take you out of it. Yeah,
because she specifically goes with the RPG. Think about Shining Force. There were so many times they wouldn't hit the person with one fucking hit point.
Yeah,
or they would just go and I'm just gonna run back now instead of pressing my advantage. It's fucking stupid.
Right.
It doesn't take you out of the game. You're just like, well, it maybe takes a little bit of the fun.
And I give a lot of older games a little bit of a benefit with shoddy AIs.
Sure.
But anymore,
I don't, honestly.
Some of the older games, like the Shining Force isn't the best example, but
no.
some of the older
games... You should have been able to map that better.
Yeah,
like some old sports games
the AI you think would be something that wouldn't matter generation-wise. I don't think it could get much better or worse, because that system back then,
You needed less AI.
You needed less AI because the games
True.
were less immersive. Now you should have more AI, but you still run into horrible problems.
Yeah, I think today's AI should not be perfect, but it should be pretty fucking good.
Yeah. My thing is also strategy games, too. That's a big one. If I'm really focusing in the game and they keep doing just inane things, it makes it so easy for me to win. I can't really pretend or get into that zone. And obviously, she's less focused on the AI and more just, the whole world of the game. That's her milieu. That's what she likes. So she wants us to name maybe an RPG that we all think has great AI, if we can think of one.
My God.
Jesus, that's a question.
That's, I don't know what you call a good AI.
I would almost say it's probably going to have to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because that's what good AIs mean to me. It's not the Skyrim way of making a good AI, which is, hey, just quadruple their hit points and make this last longer. That's not AI. That's just scaling.
I will say, and I've used this a couple times, but like the Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden, the more recent ones, it's been a while since I've played them, but I feel like that their AI wasn't bad. Now, some of the monsters would meander around, but those were kind of your easier monsters. Your harder monsters actually would do things, and they would put you into corners, or they would attack tactically in a way.
I'm going to go with sports games.
She actually specifically asked for RPG, though.
I don't have one.
Okay.
Sports games are the only ones I can think of that do actually, even though they're the same game every
Some of the
year.
new basketball games have really amped up how they see how you're playing. And that's the thing is, why don't RPGs do that? Like,
Right.
some of
Like
the,
adaptive play styles.
Yeah, some of the 2Ks, they literally see how you start to play, and they're like, I'm going to close off this lane, you're always doing this or that. Or even baseball, this guy is hot in the zone.
But you know
I'm
why?
gonna throw
That's
here.
because that's how basketball works. If some guy starts driving the lane, they're going to close that gap. If they close that gap, that guy's going to fake the drive and pass it back to the 3 line and shoot a 3.
Why can't RPGs do that? Because basically you're saying, well, he uses the same spell, the same tactic. Or maybe it's a strategy one, like a Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, well, they do this a lot. Or I'm going to focus on their healer because you
He's a
kill
healer.
them. Yes. Things like that. So maybe we don't have one, but by God, they should make one.
Yes.
That's the sack.
That's a sack. It's
sack's
That's
empty?
the sack.
Our
All
sack's
right.
empty.
It is. It is.
All up in your grill.
Great sack. Thank you, everyone, for the question.
Always love the sack.
Yeah. I mean, what's not to love?
Sack
it's a
is great.
sack. It's a sack. Moving on to the main topic. We have some issues.
We have lots of issues.
You know what? You know what really grinds my gears?
Shit we hate.
A lot of shit.
We hate a lot of things in general.
Uh-huh.
I find
True.
out whenever I root for sports teams, I usually don't root for sport teams. I usually
Root against others.
I hate so many teams.
Hate is a much, believe it or not, this is an easy study. Hate is a much more impassioned feeling.
Yeah.
It really is.
absolutely. And you get behind hate
They
more
say
than you
love
get behind.
may move the world. Hate definitely helps out a little bit.
Because
Hate
honestly,
shoves
when
that
any like
move.
the World Series or NBA Finals come on, it's like I usually don't have a team to root for.
Unless if your team doesn't make it, you root against the team that you like the most.
And I
or
hate
like the
most
least.
Well, yeah.
teams.
Yeah, and there's like 2 teams that I would want to win, and then everybody else fuck off.
Right.
Hopefully you're
Like
playing
that
for
one guy way early on said he liked us, but then we didn't like the Heat. I root against the Heat.
Yep.
I hope they all die.
I hate the Lakers.
He's
but-
going to be sad when
And the
LeBron
Yankees.
finally gets caught for all the mass amounts of HGH and steroids he's pumped into
Oh,
his
don't even get me
veins.
started on that.
His fucking forehead is 6 miles long, for Christ's
He's
sake.
like 400 pounds of all muscle, and it's natural, dude.
He's the same height, and not his billing height. Don't be retarded. They used to bill Shaq at 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Hate to tell you, he didn't weigh 300 pounds since he was fucking in Blue Chips.
right.
He's 300 pounds.
Exactly. He was
Nick
a Nick
Nolte.
Nolte in that shit. So the point is, he's the same height and weight as Hulk Hogan with less body fat.
Back in Hulk Hogan's heyday.
Yes. And bear in mind, the best typical testosterone to human ratio is 6-1, and that's like a Mr. Universe. And that, not even 6-1, it was like 3-1. But the point is, that's a Mr. Universe who doesn't but work out.
Right.
So just accept that he's a cheater and a fuckstick.
Yep.
Both.
Anyway.
So
off
we
of that
hate shit.
tangent-
Wow.
Off of that tangent.
Sorry, we hate stuff.
We went through before the episode started, and I was like, hey, go. What do you hate about video games? And the first thing out of somebody's mouth was,
BM and MOBAs.
or in games in
In
general.
games in general. That was actually mine.
Shit talking.
And I've already kind of made a video about
no,
this.
I
shit
don't
talking.
mind
Sorry,
shit
sorry.
talking.
Yeah, not shit talking, but
Well, like,
being
we-
a dick.
We used to have fun, and if maybe one day, and this maybe not to give out away my retro game, there was a game I played with some friends, and we used to shit talk a lot, especially
Right.
in the lobby. If I ever played you and somebody ever asked you how'd you get that achievement on Xbox, don't answer. because it's going to be how'd you get that dick sucking achievement.
And that is the stupidest joke in the world, but man, it was the funniest fucking.
People get so mad about that,
and we would die laughing. By the way,
but that's the other team, and it was nonsensical shit talking.
Right.
During the game, no matter how fucking bad they were, like, me and you would play fucking Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
We're both getting dogs. We're rolling. We didn't go to the person who sucked. And we might be saying it to ourselves.
Right.
We didn't tell them in chat, hey, why don't you
Go
kill
yourself, faggot, or something like that.
We never BM'd. And when I first started playing Smite, it was like everybody's just a cock.
it's like, oh yeah, this guy gave up a first blood. And you just, what is it? Fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, fucking
done.
noob.
Internet
I was
tough guys.
I was playing Assault. And I was playing Neath, and we talked about this. I hadn't played in like 5 months. I went 14-4. It was the best on my team. I played the other Neath, so suck my dick.
Right.
But I died, and he's like, "Fucking noob, why aren't you support me here?" And I just told him calmly to eat my big fat cock. That's exactly what I told him. He's like, "Whoa, I was like, no, dude, you're being an asshole.
Right.
I fucking died. Get the fuck over it." And we
Right.
still won. Eat a dick.
And you carried him.
I mean, he did okay too, but I was the best on our team. That doesn't mean I was the best player or anything. It just means
You had that
out.
best the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was my first game back, minus that one we played that one day where I was Bacchus.
Right.
So the most part is just I don't understand. You're not ingratiating yourself. People aren't playing your fucking game because you're being an asshole.
No.
People
and
stay away from
they're
that.
not liking you more because of that.
And you're not helping them by calling them a piece of shit fuckhead.
It's criticism. It's not constructive.
Look at sports. What happened if a guy makes an error at second base and you go, "Hey, why don't you stop fucking sucking and buy a mid? You should die."
Why don't you get off this field and kill yourself?
Because
One,
the
that
first
guy
thing-
would punch you.
Yeah, in the
first
fucking
thing
mouth.
The first thing we
Internet
do,
tough guys.
we play softball. O'Brien and I and JJ used to play, and whenever we play softball, we're all going to inevitably make errors. First thing, whenever you were at shortstop and I was at third, and you made an error, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, pick it up. We got you next time," or I'll pick it up with the bat, and you'd say the same thing to me. And that's what you do as a teammate. You're not like, because if you apply that to,
But you're not on the internet.
Well, I know, but
If you're on the internet, it would be different. You'd be like, "Way to catch that ball, faggot." You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, actually, that makes more sense.
It's
We
because
can try that this year.
Let's do that. Let's do that
Reverse.
this year.
Hey, good job. Kill yourself. Your mom wishes she had an abortion. You're that good.
way to catch that ball.
We'll get that homeless person to play instead of you.
It's internet tough guys.
It
It's
is.
anonymity, and I made an entire video about that. I can't stand that shit.
I just said for all the people listening on Smite now, if a person's new and they're doing it and they're not being an asshole, or there's different a person's goofing off and they're purposely making you lose the game, that's really frustrating.
No, and
that's a person wasting my time.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to learn, just don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And if you lose, oh my god, do you care about your kill death on this? Are you pro?
Yeah.
No?
How many games do we have played, JJ?
Oh God.
Hey, we're in the thousands.
Oh yeah. I bet I've got 1,200 wins, maybe more.
So how many losses do you have?
Less than that, maybe 1,000.
Okay,
I'm probably around 2,000 games played.
so
Maybe
you're
more.
saying that, I mean, if you've lost 1,000 games in Smite, I mean, imagine all the people who have cost you games. Do you remember any of those specific games?
No.
Okay, then. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Nope. And I'm not the kind of guy who cares. I'm the happy-go-lucky guy who just wants to play to have fun. I still
want to
wanna
win. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, it's a competitive game.
And how is that I don't talk shit? Because when we're on Skype, we're like, dude, this dude fucking blows.
I talk shit too to myself.
Yeah, I will happily, we will, and I'd say that's right, but I'm not going to talk to this poor kid's face and say, hey, did you fucking suck? Obviously, you know you fucking suck.
Absolutely.
Well,
And I'm frustrated. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to do it in a demeaning way to him.
Being frustrated
No,
is
not
that's a
publicly.
natural part of competition. I mean,
Yes.
there are people you're going to be competing against and with people who are not as good as you are.
Right.
And it is natural to get frustrated.
Yep.
And you're going to frustrate other people that are better than you.
Yeah.
And hopefully they aren't like, you fucking faggot, just die.
Yes.
Oh, and it's always the first mistake. It's like you play a basketball with a bunch of new people and you miss that first shot or two, then they never stop fucking pass. They don't start past you ever again because obviously you should make every shot you take because that's
Right.
what good people do.
Yeah, because of course I should have NBA efficiency.
Great
and
3-point
accuracy.
shooters hit 40. That's great.
That's great.
So at that point, let's real.
If I shoot 10, I
expectations.
might make 4.
So if I miss one, get the fuck over it. When you die that first time, or you do, God forbid, make a mistake, everybody just jumps your shit.
Mhm.
I hate that. Everybody who's ever done that, you should go kill yourself.
You should kill yourself.
Yeah. You should.
This is real life BM, motherfucker.
Yeah, you should and hero.
But honestly, I think a lot of it is too just ease of use. It's easier for me to type "fuck you, faggot" than be like, "Hey, dude, nice play there," or "Dude, I think you should have done this the next time," or "Don't be so aggressive there." I mean, it literally is easier to type. So I mean, they're theoretically the mindset behind it is you're kind of accomplishing the same thing. You're offering a solution, but killing yourself is not the solution.
And from criticizing in that way, anybody who thinks they're going to teach that way, it is absolutely no teaching value whatsoever.
No.
You're not. First off, this isn't the kind of discipline. This isn't like my first league coach. And granted, most of my ability and skill maybe owned him to it a bit. He used to make his sons cry. Right. He was a fucking asshole. I learned that way. But understand that was an actual athletic endeavor and a different kind of thing. In a game, it's never going to come that way. Just accept it.
That happens. It makes me not even want to pick up the controller or the mouse and keyboard ever again. I just want to be like, fuck this game. These guys are cocksuckers. So I would hate to be a new player in a MOBA today. Like League of Legends, they have fucking all chat. You can type to your opponents. Like, I can't imagine that in Smite.
You just be like, oh, fuck yourself. Get wrecked, kid.
Yeah. It's okay after the game. But during the game, that would be a lot to handle.
It'd be infuriating.
Yes.
It already is infuriating.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also hate EA and Sony.
And we've talked about this.
Or any of those fucking
and we're not the guys that hate just big corporations or anything like that.
I like Microsoft. Everybody get over
I like Valve.
I like Bethesda and...
I like rape.
I like rape. I love Lamp.
Yeah, I mean...
the problem is not the companies. I mean, it is.
Obviously.
But the problem is their
mantra.
Yes, their mentality about how they operate inside the gaming industry.
Well, they realize they can make a little bit more they may not make as much of a profit on one game as they do. Like they make enough profit to just make a reiteration of a game than they would to make a whole new game, and it's frustrating.
It's the nature of gaming too, to a bit where one thing we mentioned this earlier, the pricing of games is so cost prohibitive. It is much easier to say pump in $2 to $3 million into a game you have completely done with the architecture of it and just add subtle changes rather than actually be innovative and change things.
Yes.
And you can take a sales because guess what? I spent so much less to do it.
Right. Companies like...
That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get it out there.
Yeah. It's all right. You're just stupid.
I got BM'd.
Oh, yeah. You fucking asshole.
BRB.
VR, I always like that. BRB suicide.
BRB suicide.
What was I going to say? God damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh, companies like Hi-Rez. Everybody always bitches because they take so many risks in their patches. And, oh, God, you're doing all this, and this needs to be reverted. Well, fuck you. At least they tried.
Yeah.
At least they tried to change something.
And it's a living, breathing game. You can correct your mistakes.
Absolutely.
So why not try?
A Call of Duty, you just changed a few perks around. You had to keep certain perks because people would have shit the pants if you didn't keep certain perks. You had to get rid of certain perks like Commando. Remember that? Where you'd knife somebody from 4 miles away.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
It was really, really overpowered.
Yeah, but you had to take that out because people would have bitched if you didn't. But your new perks are just like, you get this.
Completely off topic.
Yeah?
Well, it's on topic, but random. I saw somebody thinking of Call of Duty. We didn't like Nuketown at first, but everyone liked it. Somebody built a complete replica of Nuketown to be paintball.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That's neat.
I was like,
that's
really
neat.
Cool. I'm like, it's like really.
Yeah, painted, built.
Every color, the way the rooms. I'm like, I would know where to go.
I don't play paintball, but that would actually be really. Anytime you remake anything like that, somebody remade the Conquest map in Minecraft. Apparently, that was really neat.
You know what? And that's bullshit because I was getting ready to start a project where I was going to recreate the Conquest map in Duke build.
Well, you still do it?
I'm not going to do it anymore. Then it's going to be like, oh, he just copied that guy.
Well, you're Trendkill, though.
Nah. Yeah, I copied him.
You're Trendkill. He copied you.
No.
He hacked you.
That's not how it works.
It is how it works.
Essentially, though, we just don't like companies that are not... I don't say take a risk, but for fuck's sake. Madden doesn't need to come out every year. For God's sake, make a good product, take a year back, give us something we'll all buy.
You know what they can do with Madden? Make updatable rosters so that every year you can update the rosters to new skills and that kind of stuff, and then you put out a Madden every 5 years and do something else fucking cool.
Please, for the love of God, if you're going to make a sports game, and I'm looking at you, Madden, and I'm looking at you, 2K, please make the My Player mode something that matters. Because every single year, it's the same shit, and it's not fun.
I'm sorry, the baseball one's really good.
Okay, well, I don't know anything
MLB
about
the show.
The MLB is the show.
Road to the show.
Everything I've heard about sports games.
They don't change a ton, though.
Damn, it's the damn reason I gotta have Sony, because I have to get MLB the show.
But for everything that I've ever heard about any sports game, that series is the pinnacle.
Well, the only thing I will say, too, like, you don't change a lot, but they, like taking, the show 10 and 11, for example, they really changed the swing mechanics, because it was just... And that's a big part of the game, how you play and how, because 10 was like, oh my God, so difficult to hit.
Right.
And 11 was better and it was a little more adaptive. So they do change things, but it is one of the best sports games.
I agree.
Yeah. So
100%.
you're talking about the pinnacle of sports games. It's almost unfair.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying they actually have a good one. So why don't you do it with them where you're actually kind of involved?
Well, like the My Player mode in NBA 2K13. Eventually, you could max out your stats. Great. I want to be that best player. That's the whole point of My Player mode. But cool, you gave me Twitter. Like, that's the only immersion into My Player. You gave me Twitter, and you gave me the absolute shittiest mechanic I've ever seen. I can talk to the GM, and I have a list of, like, 6 things I can say to him.
Well, and then also, too, like, the practice mode.
Terrible.
That's
like,
terrible.
you want to make your character, like you said, the best that you can.
Yes.
And the practice
That's
modes...
an RPG.
Well, yeah, and the practice modes are how you get better.
Yes.
If you've played those practice modes more than, like, 2 or 3 times per individual practice, you realize they're fucking boring. Like, the first time, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. But you know what they've done? They've brought it back. I remember it in 2K11 or 12, and I know it's still around in 2K14. The exact same fucking practice.
Actually, it changed in 14.
Did it really? 13 is what I meant then.
13, you actually get skills for when you...
Well, no, I know you get, like, the special skills, but the practice mode itself.
No, but the practice mode, you play the game, you actually get the skills. In 2K14, you just get currency. And you get currency,
skills.
and you go into a menu, and you buy a stat. Which I think is absolutely terrible. And you only get, like, 60 points per thing. But you're still playing the same thing every single week.
Ugh.
Another thing that I want to bring up before we move on to the next thing. You know, if there's a company that has the money backing it to create games that have big innovations, name the top 2 companies you can think of.
I mean, like, probably EA is the biggest.
Gaming companies.
EA, Microsoft, Sony.
Maybe Blizzard.
Blizzard,
yeah, Blizzard can do
like
it.
everybody will say Bethesda, but honestly, Bethesda's a lot to find their niche.
Yeah. So EA was the top of that list.
Ubisoft maybe is a big one.
Maybe.
And there's a few out there.
Isn't Ubisoft owned by EA though?
I think they are. I want to say that they are.
They may have been bought out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's like Bungie or
Everybody will be owned by EA soon.
Yeah, no
Rockstar
shit.
or
Fucking
something.
Comcast.
Yeah. I read an article, by the way, that
I think I know where you're going with this.
Comcast covers 70% of the nation. It's available in 70% of the nation.
And I think it was either the same article or one that was like near that or was in the same
Vein, whatever.
I think it said like 6% of people are happy about the Comcast merger. I think it's a good thing that the Comcast
Well,
is
it's
buying
still got to
it.
go through.
It creates a monopoly.
still
I don't
might-
see how it's going to
still,
go through.
It still may not go through.
I don't think
it's
it's
kind
gonna
of like they
go
blocked the T-Mobile acquisition back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I still think it'll
Also,
probably get blocked.
Dish is looking to, or DirecTV is looking to buy Dish as well.
Yeah,
Of course,
they've
that's
been
been going back and forth for years.
And that's, I mean, it's a monopoly, but it's a monopoly that gives a fuck. Dish has 1.1 million, Direct has like 2.3, and who gives a fuck?
Right.
I mean, it's Dish.
Satellite, yeah.
It's good for rural, and honestly, for HD content, it's still probably the best cable service.
Right.
Unless you live in a big city. However, it's just who gives a fuck. For that little bit of people, there's still lots of Windstream and fucking all these other weird ones. Hughes.
Anyway, completely horrible tangent.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is if you're EA, you've got millions, billions backing your company. You're telling me you can't take a risk on a couple games.
The only thing about EA is, and you look like a lot of the guys that make their living, and there are ones that make their living just looking at what sales figures on games will be because they're trading Activision stock or EA stock. EA is a real shareholder-driven company. Has been really since the end of the 90s. Because before that,
Which is a problem.
They were a different game company. Now they're very beholden to that, which I know every company is, but what really derives their cash flow is that. Their dividends.
Yep.
And they are a very stock-driven company. Which I know every company is, but at their level, they're not like Sony big where it doesn't matter.
So, in that vein, do you think that, like, EA is... I mean, do you think that all the new innovation is going to come from, like, upstart companies and that's how they're going to make their fame? Or do you think that...
Absolutely.
Do you think
then
there's
they're
any...
going to release the same garbage over and over.
I think it would be middle tier. Because if they're too small, you get indie games that you'll get Castle Crashers to do things, but those guys aren't going to evolve and make Titanfall.
Well, Telltale made The Walking Dead, and that was, like, critically acclaimed.
It was. But I don't see them making Skyrim. You know, a game of that level.
Definitely not yet.
That's why I think like that middle tier of developers who make real platform games have success will then probably make a few good games, and then will probably go the way, sadly, that everybody else does. Then they can sell out, get stocks, do an
So would you
IPO,
say, like, Gearbox is kind of in that? Because, I mean, like, what was Gearbox before Borderlands? That's a legitimate question. I don't know.
They've done some other shit, and now that you ask me, I can't name it. But they were involved in... it was a pretty decent game.
Also, it depends on licensing. Like, if they license their engine and their technology just like the Unreal Engine or other things like that, Havoc Engine. You know, you a lot of games like Bethesda pays everybody for all their stuff that actually runs the fucking games themselves. So they have to license all that. You can make a lot of your money through that, and then have the freedom to then go and make Psychonauts.
I just hate that. I just hate that you've got this gigantic company with, like you said, millions and billions of dollars, and they can do so many great things for an industry that we all love, and yet they choose to regurgitate Assassin's Creed, Madden, and just I can't.
I think it's general laziness too. Because the thing about video games, a little bit different of an art, you really have to have a good development team. You have to have the right people. That's why people buy companies. They buy it for not just the property; they really are buying it for the staff. And I just feel like maybe they don't have creative. It's like if anybody says a creative idea, they're probably going to do the scene from The Untouchables where Robert De Niro beats the guy to death with a bat. He's going to walk behind him and say, "You want creativity?" And he's just going to fucking kill him.
And I don't mean to make this like super broad and super like serious or whatever, but like innovation is. I mean, you have to take a risk for innovation. Like greatness is achieved by risk, essentially. And you've got this company that is so stagnant. Like, okay, we're just making a lot of money. We're going to continue this gradual slope upwards and making money, and that's great, but you could achieve so much more than that by being a little risky here and there.
Thing is, for a company like EA, I guess they care.
No, I mean, obviously they don't.
If you were a billionaire, would you make a risk to possibly lose money, or would you just be happy that you're a fucking billionaire?
I would probably take the risk because I'm already a billionaire. I'm not going to risk all my money. I'll risk the portion necessary. But then again, I'm always looking that if I take that risk, I can make more money.
Well, and there comes a point where is like Bill Gates. If he were to stop doing anything right now, he and the next generation and the next generation and the next generation of his family will live forever without ever having to work.
Because he's too charitable, sadly.
Well, but I mean,
but
with
like
the money,
the sixth generation will be out of money.
With the money that he has,
I wouldn't be doing that.
I mean, you could make $1 billion last almost infinitely if you were smart with it.
Sure.
I mean, you couldn't go buy 45 islands or a continent or something.
I'm definitely buying at least one island.
I will say,
you can buy an island for $1 million.
And this is not defending EA. This is defending, I guess, that line of thinking. They have much more than if any of us had personally $1 billion. I think we would all take that risk of, I'll risk $500 million because I still have $500 million to maybe either make more, even or recoup some of my $500 million. But EA has a lot of employees, and if you flop a game,
they're all ants for billionaires now.
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
They're serfs. We're dancing on the back of the bruised.
We'll just employ them into some sort of indentured servitude.
And I don't want to say that EA hasn't taken risks, but every risk they've taken has killed. They take bad risks. They buy game IPs and they murder them.
Yeah,
and they murder the companies that they bought.
Because they don't usually keep the staff.
Brothers in Arms was the Gearbox game, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Good game.
Yeah. But EA takes risks. Look at Titanfall. That's kind of a risky move.
It is.
And I think it's going to be a flash in the pan. I don't think it's going to sell much. It's not going to be Call of Duty. It's not going to be Battlefield.
No. I don't think sell much is. I think it's still going to recoup.
Well, of course, sell much in comparison to massive titles.
That's not fair. The
real
fair. Way we need to fight EA is to stop buying Madden and stop buying Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Everybody complains about EA. Oh, fuck EA. Fuck EA.
And then every year they break records.
EA game.
I haven't bought a Madden this millennium.
No.
Oh God, no.
You know why? Because
I played some, but I never bought one.
I bought 7, and I bought 10. The last 2 I bought.
You should try them every now and then. That's something.
But 7 and 10 were the same motherfucking game, and I
New rosters,
vowed
motherfucker.
then to never buy another Madden
like American
game.
Horror Show episodes.
Yeah, no shit. So
we hate EA.
It's not just EA. It's not just Sony.
We're picking on
that
EA
mindset.
because they're the biggest,
and they're in the news, and they're the yeah.
It's the mindset.
They're the scapegoat.
Yeah. Fuckers.
So yeah. So this was actually Andrew's. I think it was.
Which one was mine?
DLC to finish the game. So a game released that's not fucking complete, and then I have to patch it after the fucking fact.
Yeah, it seems, and I don't have a perfect example in my mind, but releasing DLC with the game annoys me. I know that bothers you more, Jeremy.
100%.
But it does bother me. I just hate games that come out and you know something that's glaringly missing. Like either a quest or something's just broken or some of the gameplay is just not fluid. And then you get a month later like, oh yeah, we fixed all those issues because we didn't know they were going to be a big deal. Hire a fucking playtester.
It's not
Or
that
two.
To me. It's not that to me. DLC is like, don't release a game with DLC already scheduled.
Oh yeah, like maps. Like a lot of shooters will do that.
Fuck you.
Why didn't you include them? Like,
yes.
Like the what was
Don't
it?
nickel and dime me.
Was it the first Blops that came out? And
Black Ops.
Yeah,
For all
yeah,
you,
Black Ops.
We call it Blobs. I don't think anybody else calls
For
it
all
Blobs.
you noobs out
No,
there.
for-
yeah, fucking
Get on our level.
fucking nubs.
I
Hate
haven't
them.
played a Call of Duty in like 5 years, but you're still a noob if you don't know blocks.
They would release it, and like within that week, you have a map pack, which means they had
Already
the map.
announced, pre-announced.
That meant to me that when you built the game, you built the map pack. You purposely gave us less maps, so we'd have to buy the fucking map pack, and you'd make free cash for doing nothing. A map design is fucking easy.
And then honestly, and one of the things that actually opened my eyes, because you're the one telling me about this, is whenever I don't know if we're going to get two Kingdoms of Amalur references in this podcast today, but Kingdoms of Amalur, I was kind of excited about the game because it looked to be a little bit different. It looked to be, a Diablo-ish, transitioning maybe an MMO later on, and there's some neat stuff about it. But I was like, oh yeah, because I was telling you about it, and there were like downloads for it. And I was like, what are these downloads? Well, they're like starter items that you can get to help you out on your quests. It's like, oh, how much are those? Or I was like, they're like $2.99 something. I forget what they were, and they actually end up being really shitty because you out-leveled those starter items in like,
Of course you will.
like 3 or 4 levels, and you know how the beginning of any RPG is. You hit level 5 within the first hour of the game. And you were more offended by it. I kind of didn't get it at first. I was like, why are you so? And then it just kind of clicks. Like you're charging me $3 for items that I'm going to get a half an hour to play through.
And maybe beyond that, if you're going to give me the option to have those items, make it a special edition or something like that.
Something that looks...
I fucking hate microtransactions. I can't stand it.
Oh, I do not like them
Don't
at all.
fucking nickel and dime me. If you are giving me something like Smite or any other like fucking Team Fortress 2, if you're going to give me the option to purchase extra things somehow that doesn't affect the game in any way,
Like a voice pack.
yeah,
Who gives a shit?
a skin. I bought that because I wanted it, not because I should have bought it to be relevant.
The fact that my crocodile's a pirate isn't really going to affect gameplay.
No, but how many of those skins have you bought? I mean, how much money have you dropped into Smite, though?
150.
150? I know I've dropped at
Jesus.
least 100 or 150. I know I've dropped at least 100. I think maybe 150.
I bought the game pack or the Gods pack.
Well, and that's not including
it.
that.
Not
That's
including that.
Yeah, not including the God pack. So, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, had you made, like, some stats that you have to buy to be relevant with everybody else, honestly, don't think I'd have played Smite.
No, I would have quit playing.
Because I was like, well, because if you're going to have that, then you're going to eventually put out an expansion that needs, another $1 for my next stat tree or whatever. But because I enjoy the game and I'm in a beta and I'm helping a company out, I mean, literally, I am helping a company out right now. And I'm going to give you money to try and do it and also get some cool shit that I like.
Yes. Give me optional stuff. If I want to buy it, it's there. Do not fucking shove it in my face. Don't have pop-ups advertising it every step of the way. Just let me know it's there, and I'll buy it. But don't release a game without knowing, or without releasing stuff that you already know you're going to be releasing in the future. That's just bullshit.
Cosmetic changes are fine, but don't do something that's almost pay to win. But the problem with the DLC thing is, like, for me, certain games, and once again, it's tough to remember them, but certain games will come out, and it's like you can tell they're not finished.
Oh, yeah.
They're just trying to meet their dedeadline. And I'll do a
Civ
patch.
5.
Yeah. Why didn't you have Hot Seat?
What
Seriously.
the fuck is wrong with you?
Now, granted, they postponed that longer, but like, why didn't you just go ahead and give me what I wanted and give me honestly, I'm the person I would much rather wait 6 months for you. Even if it's a game I'm like Civ 5 when it came out, I was fucking dying to have that game.
Right.
I was waiting, reading every blog, watching all the developer diaries,
Every patch, every update,
every notes, everything. So finally, when it came out, I was excited. But don't give me. They hadn't really fixed a lot of the AI and the way the game mechanically worked, which showed me that they play tested it, but not to the level they needed to. Don't release a game before it's ready. Wait 6 months. Like Blizzard, for all the bad things you say about WoW, Blizzard usually does not release a game till it's fucking ready. You may wait 5 years. We don't give a shit. This game will be the shit when it's released.
I'd rather wait. Now, don't fucking Duke Nukem me. Don't
Well,
give me.
Don't Duke Nukem me.
Don't Duke Nukem me and give me a shit game after I waited 12 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And 12 years is a little much to wait for anything.
Yeah, I got balls of steel, but my balls aren't fucking titanium or whatever alloy is harder than steel. Anyway.
Time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
So good.
So
That's
moving
bad.
on.
Your face, your ass. What's the difference?
So
You actually have a good Duke voice.
it's not bad. So you were talking about early access to games.
Oh, don't get me started.
I just did.
Oh,
Start away, sir.
can you stop me up? Sorry.
No, I can't do that at all.
I'm fucking tired of early access games. Like, every game I'm like, oh, that game looks kind of cool. Early access. I'm like, don't put it in the new releases, you fucker, because it's not released. It's released under an early access fucking whatever. Alpha? Is that what you want to call it? I'm paying you to test your game for you. Fuck you.
Hire a tester, for Christ's sake.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't most video game companies have people who test their games?
Yeah, you pay me, motherfucker.
Those are usually like entry-level positions that are, minimum wage or maybe a little more. And
Pretty terrible, from what I understand.
For everybody having fun in DayZ and Rust right now, I kind of think you're a little stupid. Because the games
You are
idiots. So awful. DayZ, I would love to play, but it is unfucking play. Zombies are running through walls, and they're standing half through floors
In
and
fairness, you've never seen a zombie in real life.
I don't think it would
What
be.
if they could have osmosis?
They could
through walls.
teleport.
They could.
Zombies
Maybe
could be
there's
teleporting.
superhero zombies.
Then why do they run into like fences and shit?
It's not those kind. It's not Walking Dead zombies. These are DayZ zombies.
Superman
They
can see
teleport.
through everything but lead.
Okay.
Maybe zombies can run through walls but not fences.
I don't know. I don't want to pay to buy a game only to find out that it's
not ready.
Yeah, that it's not. Well, I know it's not ready if it's early access, but I don't want to buy a game only to find out. Yeah, even when this game launches, I'm not gonna have fun.
Now you could offer it for free and let me try it out to give you feedback on it. That would be
Yes.
fantastic because
Every other beta in the world.
Or what about like I'll pay you half the price of the game. If the game is shit, then you give me my money back.
Or what if I
Or
don't
give me
pay
some
you anything?
something.
or I will say if this would be a way that I would think it'd be more. Say you've decided you set your price in stone. When this game comes out, it's gonna be $50.
Sure.
You pay $25 now. You get early access to the game, and you get a free copy of the game when it comes out.
Sure.
That would be a risk to take.
Because you're paying for people to test, and then you're giving them half off the game or whatever price you want to designate.
Maybe that's how it works, but I don't fucking care. Even that method, I don't want to do it.
Because you're taking a calculated risk that you're going to pay $25. In my scenario, you're paying $25. You're going to get into this game. You may or may not have fun, but if you have enough fun that you're going to get the game, great. But if you don't have enough fun, you just wasted $25 because that in an alpha or a beta game, it seems like that almost instantaneously whether you're going to like it or not. You go,
Yes.
nope, this game's shit.
Yep. Cube World.
Q World was fun.
Yeah, but that was an early access. You paid to get in.
You paid to get in, and then they put out no content.
Well, it was only 2 people, but
I mean, but still though,
it was one of those games where I feel bad. I feel bad that I paid money to do it. I feel bad that I recommended that you pay money to do it. And I feel bad that our buddy Seth paid money to play it. And then after he paid money to play it, we stopped playing because they literally hadn't changed anything in like 2 months.
You're a terrible person.
I am. I owe you guys $40.
Give me money.
I'm never going to give it to you, but I owe it to you.
You're a dick. Fucking kill yourself.
But look at the 2 games that I'm beta testing right now, Elder Scrolls Online and Smite.
How much you pay for those?
$0.
All right.
And I'm having a blast in both of them. No NDA on ESO anymore, by the way.
So we can say that we're testing
I can say that I'm testing it, and when another beta comes out, I can fucking stream it, and I can make videos on it. I'm fucking stoked as shit.
Oh,
right
dude,
now.
I'm so excited for that. We're going to kill so many people.
When you get your computer...
Oh, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Hurry up, I buy power. Fucking send me the shit. Stop just saying you collected my parts. Jesus Christ.
Early access can suck my dick, and is it a coincidence that the initials of early access are EA? Fucking...
No, it's
fucking
actually...
Illuminati shit over here.
Right. Don't start with me. Graphic horrors.
Oh,
This is one that was really me. I get tired.
Get on your soapbox there.
Well, fucking
gameplay
shit.
doesn't matter. Graphics.
It's all about
matter,
graphics.
dude.
All I care about graphics. What's the graphics of this game? I need this PC so I can have these graphics, dude. I still fucking play my Nintendo.
Your computer can't run Battlefield 4 and Ultra. You fucking.
You don't have a Titan and 3 SLI. No, I don't
triple
need
SLI
it.
Titan.
Because every game you can fucking run it. The point is, we talk about games. It takes away all the innovation of games. Graphics has replaced it. That's what costs games to make. So much fucking cost to make them.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, that game's not that pretty. Who gives a shit? Is it fun? You dumb fuck.
Yes.
I just the graphic thing that gets me is just where that's all they focus on. Like we did our video game system.
Yes, we did.
Reviews. Graphics were a part of it. But when you look at like
because they're an important part of the game. We're not trying to say they're not important.
Agreed. But when you look like even honestly, I would say like Game Informer or EGM, like Electronic Game Monthly, or any of the other magazines.
GameSpot, whatever.
Back in the day.
Oh, you're talking about magazines. Never mind.
Well, because most of them are gone except for Game Informer. But even you look at IGN or any of them, graphics are probably 50% or more of the rating. Graphics are, this game looks so beautiful. Well, great. It's glitchy as fuck.
Yes.
Like a shooter that looks great, like Rage or something. Like that was an okay game. It was really great. Great graphics. I don't give a fuck. It wasn't that much fun to play.
I never played it. I heard it was actually kind of fun, but I don't know.
Yeah, it looked neat.
It's not a bad game. It just, everybody's like, oh, this game's amazing because it had awesome graphics.
Well, the thing that kills me is that you ever go on the gaming subreddit, they still, to this day, will post Skyrim pictures. Skyrim or real life. Look at what mods can do. Dude, I don't fucking care. You know why? Because that game is over 2 years old, and I'm fucking bored to tears with it. I've played it for 2 years. I don't need to make it pretty. That doesn't change the gameplay, motherfucker. You're not adding anything by making it pretty. I don't care.
It looks pretty, but like
I don't fucking care.
The fact that somebody dedicated a lot of time to make Skyrim 2 years after the fact look amazing. You know, great. You've got great technical skills.
Congratulations with all the money that you made on that mod.
Maybe he made some money on advertising or something somewhere, but I guarantee you the money they made on the mod is not worth the time they put into it. Maybe it's just self-gratification.
Why don't you get a job at Bethesda, fucker? Why are you sitting in your mom's basement with a neckbeard?
Jerking into anime.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock that. No, just kidding. Yeah. I don't jerk into anime. Often.
There you go. Like, if I'm gonna play, we talked about Madden. If I'm gonna play a fucking football game, I want to play Madden. I want to play Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is better graphically?
And Madden's probably a better game as far as gameplay is concerned.
I disagree.
As far as actual football immersion, Madden's
But the
a better
simplicity
game.
of it, sometimes simplicity is a great game.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't have to be complex. I think like if you make a game very playable, that it's a lot of fun, it's easy to use, it's accessible. It's all those things in one. It can't just be like blocks. It's got to have some graphical ability to it. But
it also depends on the level of immersion you're looking for, too.
Sure.
If they
like
release
RPGs, I don't care about Skyrim looking pretty. I'd much rather play a fucking turn-based game where I have little cartoony sprites.
I much prefer Morrowind in every form and fashion. I've not been shy about that.
But at the time, that was pretty graphically.
I'm talking about now.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather play Morrowind than Skyrim right now.
Easily.
Oh, without a question.
And I'm having fun playing it. Going back and reading the quests. And there was a time I was like, I don't know if I can remember this. What I do? There's literally a quest in Morrowind that I'm on right now where the guy goes, I need you to figure out what's going on with the dwarves. That's it. And in your journal it says he wants me to find out what's about the dwarves, but he didn't tell me much. I can't tell if he's serious. That's actually what it says in the journle. And you're like, okay.
I think that leads into one of ours. Because one of the other things that pissed us off was it. I think it was mine actually.
We talk about dumbed down games.
Yeah. See, and look at that segue.
Yeah.
That segue,
it was an unintentional segue.
It was.
Yeah.
But like games that like in Morrowind to Skyrim, skipping the Oblivion generation there. But games hold your hand too much now.
Yes.
And a little bit of that is just ease of gameplay. I think games are too easy overall.
Oh, God,
and we have discussed that. But games they don't want you to search for anything anymore.
No.
They want you, and honestly, as a person who I'm a retro gamer. I've played a lot of old games. I've played a decent amount of new games. You would think that I'd be much more inclined to find all the quests and read all the lore and that kind of stuff. You know from personal
experience. Inclined to do that.
You're just like, we gotta go get these pelts.
I don't even know.
He didn't even know what you're getting.
Yeah,
He's just following a dotted line for a quest helper.
I'm like, let me read it. And it's like,
You're reading and I'm running off in front.
I'm like, you're over there. Oh shit, let me catch up real quick.
And then when I'm playing with you,
Borderlands, I'm gonna shoot myself in the face.
I just
You're like, what are we even doing? I was like, a quest? And he's like, oh,
I was over killing something. And that's what I do, but I should be the gamer who should be like, fuck these new games, they're too easy, and I am that, but I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
I'm 100% guilty of it, and I love the Morrowind system where I actually have to read and go, where the fuck do I go over that bridge, and then,
through the woods.
Yeah, to grandmother's house. But 50 paces that way, and any ESO.
Yes.
We can say this now, can't we?
Yeah.
So there's a quest in the starting zones.
Yep.
and it's a treasure hunt quest. You get a note that says these are the steps, and you go, at the.
It's literally an X marks the spot treasure map where they give you clues.
And then you start at the star of this place, and then you go 45 paces due south, and then there's an island with a finger, and then you go this, and we literally, the quest reward was shitty.
45 minutes.
We spent 45 minutes.
Tyler.
Yeah, you, me, and Tyler. And the quest reward was like 20 gold, which 20 gold is nothing.
It was like 200 or something.
No, it wasn't. No, it was
like 70 or something.
I think it was 70 gold. 70 gold. And that's a decent amount early on, but it's not that big of a deal. And 70 gold, you're going to get it, by the bucket full later on. And we spent 45 minutes doing it. You know what? It was fucking fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Until we got to the end. And the problem with that quest is that you actually had to you couldn't just think about it and follow the quest.
You had to go step on each landmark.
You had to go step on each landmark to get the treasure pile at the end to spawn. So we're all trying to figure it out in our heads, but we skipped a step because we couldn't figure out what they meant by star, but we figured out the second step. So we went there, and...
So you just use your intellect and actually solve it. You had to basically do step and fetch.
Yes.
And then I'm the one who didn't get it because you actually went off to go to the quest, and I was off killing random things.
Yes.
Yeah.
He walked all the way around a humongous mountain in the water.
Yeah, I swam across that bitch, and I found something else that was kind of cool that I didn't know what it was. We never found out, but
no.
It seemed like it was kind of
You accomplished a whole lot.
I did.
While I was completing the quest. Tyler didn't even get it. Because he was like, fuck that, I'm not going back and doing all that.
I thought that it was like, this is ridiculous, but it might be over here because they didn't give us a specific direction, and that led us to our own little fucking adventure.
But even in Elder Scrolls Online, they hold your hand too much.
Well, yeah, because it's an MMO.
Well, that's the new style of games. Sadly.
Well, but wow, the thing I don't like about Elder Scrolls Online is the fucking compass. It's like, oh, there I go. I go that way. Like, I know WoW has the map.
But you didn't know exactly where you needed to go.
Not always. Sometimes they put a dot on the map.
Sometimes, yeah.
But, like, you couldn't... It's just... The problem with the compass is that you get a quest, you instantly look up, and you turn until the compass is in front of you, and you walk.
And then it also tells you above or below, too.
Yeah, on ESO it does.
And we talked about that Devil Ann question. Her point of immersion, that completely breaks it. Because now you're just following directions. You're not in the game.
You're not immersed at all, because you're not reading the quest. You're just clicking through until you get a marker, and you're walking.
You're just going to get a level.
Yeah.
And I personally hate that.
Yes. It takes you out of the game, and it dumbs it down. Try to play through Skyrim, and then try to play through Morrowind. There's so many people that be like, oh, Morrowind's a terrible game. No, it's not. If you played Morrowind first, you'd be like, Skyrim fucking sucks.
Legend of Zelda. Why can't every game be like that?
Yes.
Not saying the point is, Legend of Zelda, you really don't know what the fuck to do a lot.
No.
You have to listen to every person's words,
Yep.
look every area, and be thorough. You have to do all that to get the experience. They don't just say, here's what you do. Because at that point, I'm almost following their direction. Am I really even playing the game?
No. You're not.
You're
controlling a character.
You're doing a loot grind. You're doing a convoluted loot grind is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what things have become.
Yep. And
Gold farmer.
The
Ni hao.
Ni hao Kai Lan.
That old song. Ni hao and farm some gold.
Mm-mm.
You don't remember it?
I remember. I do remember it. I know.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna throw you under the bus completely.
Those fucking songs,
dude. That was like a fucking half a decade ago.
I know.
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast.
I don't know why I remember the words, but I do.
What'd you have?
Donuts.
Oh, donuts sound good.
Yeah, they were like the shitty packaged.
Oh, I think you meant like
ones.
Donut Bank or Krispy Kreme or
like
something.
Entermans or something, like a good kind.
No, they're off-brand. Just Schnucks. Or no, I'm sorry, Sam's.
Oh, so it's like kind of like
crumbly,
hard.
Oh. Yeah.
It's still better than no donut.
I didn't fucking buy them. I'm like, hey, honey, get me breakfast food when you're at the store. And she's like, here, have this massive box of donuts, like 200 donuts or some shit.
At least you get Entermans. They have good donuts, dude.
I don't even know what that is.
If they're giving
they're like the white and blue package.
You would know about entering men.
God damn it.
So next up on our roster of shit we hate would be hype. Hyping games. Hyping whatever.
This next big game is gonna fucking...
Hyping and being excited are two different things.
Yes.
I'm all for being excited. Like, I'm excited for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
WoW killer.
I am not saying it's the WoW killer.
I can't tell you how many people were like, oh, got to the Titanfall beta. Fucking
Daisy.
I'm gonna jizz. You know, I got my fucking cock in my hand ready for the email. I just... dude, it's not gonna be the next big shooter. Who fucking cares?
I already had my cock in my hand.
Just
I always have mine in my hand.
Wait for the game to come out and then say it's going to be the best thing ever. Just
Or find aspects of the game that you like and be like, oh my god, this should be the best thing ever because it's better in this respect.
An explanation. It's like when you do the hype thing, it's just like you're getting excited for no reason. You go to hyperbole rather than having a grounded statement.
And why are we so excited for fucking betas? What happened to the days where we were excited when games launched? Now we're excited for early access, and we're excited for
I'm excited to
testing.
I'm excited to play a game,
A shit version
of the game, and that's gonna piss me off, and then I get to replay all that shit that I already played again.
And then, after I'm already pissed off at the shit game, then I pay money for the real version, which is going to be almost the same as the beta version that
Which
I just
is not
tested.
going to be better. It's not going to dethrone insert current king.
No. I don't... Every game that comes out is either put in a shit pile or a fucking this is going to be the best game ever pile. There's rarely any middle ground.
And there's no game... Yeah, there's no... If sevens on that game scale do not exist, like, oh, this game is going to be pretty good. Yeah. I might buy it.
And it's just unrealistic in general because most things are not that radical extreme in general.
No.
I agree with you. Just when it comes to hyping games, it just maybe pump the brakes,
chill,
be logical. And you could say, like, and once again, when we talk about this, there are guys who get paid, they're analyzing games, sales figures. They're going to try, but they don't usually do either of those things.
No.
You know why? Because they're fucking good at what they do. They're being rational. Just, don't go too crazy on it.
Be excited.
Be excited. When I see the E3 launch, or not the launch, but the E3, sneak peeks of all the games they're going to release and stuff like that, or any of the other fucking expos or whatever you want to call them, cons or whatever, I'm excited.
It's cool.
When I
it's
hear new things about ESO, or when I hear new things about upcoming games that I really want to play, I'm excited.
Sure.
Stick of Truth's coming out. I don't have high hopes for it because every other South Park game has been shit. But this one actually looks pretty good.
Well, I mean, but also it's like the Game of Thrones 15-minute teaser.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Game of Thrones. I'm excited for the new season. Game of Thrones, I'm not saying is the best series in the history of series.
No. I'm not gonna buy HBO just because you put out a 15-minute teaser or something like that.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Everything that you just showed me in that teaser, I'm gonna see in the season. So
Obviously.
Patience.
Yes.
But it's a teaser. It's not supposed to create hype necessarily.
Right, yeah. But that kind of leads to a last one.
A little bit. So with that hype would come fad games,
Ugh.
which I lump. We discussed it. We lump mobile games with it because for the most part,
fad games are, yeah.
we just had a big one everybody's talking about that just died.
Thank Jesus.
Flappy Bird.
Yeah. Never downloaded it. Never
Nope.
touched it. Never.
You know what? We should have downloaded it because apparently you could have sold your device that had Flappy Bird on it on eBay for lots of money.
Most of those are scams.
Are they?
Most of those are me putting it up on one account, creating a second
And then
PayPal,
buying it, and then paying yourself.
paying myself, and then
That didn't. It seemed a little fishy. I didn't do any research into it. I was just like, oh.
I don't know of any of them that were actually legit sold, but I mean there were some sold bids on eBay for like $7,000 for a phone that still had Flappy Bird installed on it.
Now
That game is terrible.
Yes, it's awful.
Andy put it this way: it's a time waster.
For anybody who doesn't know,
If you play that a fucking long time, I go because I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. It's a Chinese restaurant. It happens.
Of
So
course.
I come back to the thing and I'm like, "Are you fucking playing Flappy Bird?" And he's like, "Well, it's for like a doctor's office. It's a time waster. It's just like you're playing fucking Flappy Bird."
you're playing a game that has been done a million times before.
But he said it was updated, and his bounces were less now when he touched the screen.
God damn it!
I kid you not.
idiot.
He told me he was doing. It was more responsive than when I played it that one or two times.
I've literally never
Or a
touched
coworker.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird version 2, more responsive. Who fucking cares? You're still a bird poking up and down in the air
Between pipes.
between pipes that are Mario's pipes, you fucks.
It does look like a cheap.
God.
A cheap.
The thing is that we know that as the helicopter game.
Yeah.
It was an old Java game where you were a fucking stick-drawn helicopter. And
Terrible.
Were you a lollipopter?
yes, and you were in a gap, and it had obstacles that you fought through it, and you held your left click to go
To
up,
rise
and
and-
you let go of left click to fall back down. And you had
Same
to like tap it a
principle.
couple times to keep it level.
That game
game's
wasn't
been
good.
done hundreds and thousands
You
of times.
can't carry the
since.
Commodore 64 with you.
Yeah, I guess.
I try.
Give me the helicopter game on my phone. I'd buy that shit.
Snake. That's what I want.
Yeah, give me an old Nokia.
That's a mobile game on
like a
get
12-pound Nokia phone that's gonna break my
When we were
table
to the
when I
cell
drop
phones,
it.
so I used to always, anybody ever return those, I kept them because they had Snake on it.
Yeah.
I charged
Oh,
that phone up
nice.
to play Snake.
Yeah, but anyway, Farmville.
Oh God.
Fuck
Farmville.
Candy Crush.
Listen, if you're on Facebook and anybody who's listening actually sends out a message about
I
Candy
will
Crush,
come to
I
your
will
house.
literally molest your niece or something.
that's a BM worthy a thing.
I bet you don't do that for lots of reasons.
Only if she's 18.
Good save. Good save.
You can't really molest as much. I don't know. Just like it's terrible. I don't care. Don't send me those fucking messages, and that goes into the whole pay to win thing.
Microtransactions are huge in those games.
For a long period, I played a lot of mobile games at work to kill time.
You've worked at a mobile phone store.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was managing a lot of times. I didn't have to do all that much, so I just messed around on fucking tablets, and I'd play games that were fun. And then you get to a wall where guess what? If I either A, want to be competitive with all the other people playing it, or B, want to actually experience the whole game, I now have to keep paying. And that fucking drives me
wait
crazy.
a day. You ran out of
energy or stamina.
whatever.
It's like, dude, I got 6 more hours to kill. I gotta pretend like I'm working. What the fuck?
It's like though that this was big. I think probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Like that Mafia kind of game. That was like the text based. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
it was on Facebook, wasn't
it
it?
was like a Facebook game.
Yeah,
where,
everybody played it.
But there have been like literally thousands of spin-offs of that. With medieval or
There's a superhero
futuristic
one.
There's a super. Literally there are thousands of them, and all those kind of games. Like even they were kind of cool, and like 'cause they're mostly RPG-ish. You build your little army and you PvP in these arbitrary ways. And
Clash of the Clans, which is on like TV every fucking commercial. You've seen that one, right?
Yeah.
But the way you get better in those, either A, you pay money for some sort of currency or more energy or whatever it is, or you have to recruit an army of like friends, and then so you've got to invite all your Facebook friends to fucking play, and then you get to lose all your Facebook friends because they fucking hate you for inviting them to this shitty ass game.
Thinking of Mafia, why don't they bring back Dope Wars?
Yeah, that was the game. That's the game that spawned all those. Those were
that
the
was
old
a game
TI-83s
that was on
shit.
my TI-85.
Yeah,
rocking that shit out in fucking AP
Calculus or something.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
It was that, and they had that Penguin game that was like Penguin Land. It was
Mario.
like
They had a Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Penguin game.
There's a
hard as
mobile
fuck.
game I would bring. Oh yeah, because it was like Mega Man on steroids as far as your jumps.
Oh god.
Yeah. Anyway, so
That's a mobile game I'd bring back.
And now some of the mobile games like that they've like full version like mobile games like we talked about Shining Force, some of the Final Fantasy. That's kind of cool that they're doing that.
That's acceptable.
That because you're actually doing it. It's usually the company who makes it.
The one that did Tactics, they actually redid War of the Lions, which was the re-release on PSP, and it's got a lot of new content, and they added better graphical cutscenes.
I will say also I just
$12 though.
For shits and giggles, I went on my iPad the other day and went to the App Store because I haven't been on that shit forever. And they released Final Fantasy 3 on this is the last one that they released of the old retro ones,
yeah?
and I'm not gonna buy it for $16, but it's there.
They're ridiculously priced, and if you buy the iPad version, you do not get the iPhone version.
why don't you just download an emulator on your iPad and then ROM it
So, I mean,
instead of paying $16?
no, that's either I was gonna do that or hack the game or hack the iPad.
I didn't pay for that.
Yeah.
I
jailbroke my iPad. I had to update it and it jailbroke.
The only problem is that, like
going
most
to-
of those jailbroke things, it's just fucking buggy as shit. You got to keep downloading again, find the download. It's like
It's
that's frustrating about that system. I have to actually jailbreak and go against your rule to do what I want to do.
I'm calling the cyber police on you guys.
Well, it's out there on the internet now, so
Yep. Now that is
They can come take all my Apple products.
which is like your wife's iPod or something.
Something like that. Yeah. They could take
JD,
it
your iPod is fucked.
and cram it up their ass. Fucking.
So those are the things that we hate.
We hate lots of things.
Yeah, we were going to run out of time.
We can
hate is
we can
lengthy.
almost make that like maybe a recurring segment every so often when we're like, you know what, we hate a lot of things today.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can get this long out of every time, but well, actually, to be fair, we hate a lot of things.
We hate a lot of things.
especially if we open this up to like sports.
Oh God, then we're good. We're golden.
We're good for the next couple years.
Which, by the way,
Which would be the hate-gasm.
we've actually talked about opening the podcast up to movies, music, sports, things like that, because we like a lot more things than video games.
we do.
And we have shared experiences with a lot more things than video games. Did you say sex?
I said titties.
Oh, titties. Same thing. We could also open the podcast up to titties.
We should always open them up to titties.
Yeah.
When in doubt,
Tits, get the
titties.
fuck out.
Yeah.
But, it's something that we thought about. If we plan on doing this for 50 episodes, we could probably manage with just video game content, but it's going to get slim.
Yeah, it
Shady.
doesn't hurt to have a little bit of fresh stuff on there.
No.
Spice it up.
We could come up with different games and things like that if we did it that way. Which, by the way, I know
Lightning. No, just kidding.
I know you're not excited about this, but we're not going to do a lightning round this week. We decided that we really needed to kind of work on the game, and we only have 2 games because the fucking we changed the category
from it. That's what matters.
We changed the category game, and it didn't change enough. We didn't think so. We're kind of trying to figure out what we can do with it, and we're just going to take a week off and figure something out, and we'll try to have it back next week, but we can't guarantee it.
Yeah. You still get to hear us.
And honestly, if people have any like great ideas that are new and out there, I mean, even if we don't use your idea, it at least maybe inspires us in a way that we weren't thinking about before.
For the next week or 2, we've got enough mailbag questions to probably get by. I would rather you send us game ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're doing something instead of the mailbag, the game ideas would be fucking perfect.
And don't send us just like trivia. Like, give us some rules. Give us fucking in-depth explanations. Do our work for us is what we're saying.
Yeah, because we're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
We're trying to come up with games that are going to be fun for you to listen to, fun for us to play, and have an almost infinite supply of material. And it's really hard to fucking do.
And if we choose your game, we'll say your name on the podcast.
Yay!
Andrew said earlier before we started recording that he would suck your dick.
He did. He would.
We don't have recording yet, so it doesn't
count. If you
count.
don't have a dick,
we have
then
2
you can
witnesses?
find somebody that
No,
does.
it's not. We have everything else recorded, so that was not recorded.
We didn't record that part.
I know, so it doesn't hold up.
Yeah, we have 2 witnesses. If I was a chick and you even looked at me, I could say he raped me.
Verbal contract
Well,
stands
yeah,
up
that's
in the
because
state
you're a
of
woman
Indiana.
and you can say that anyway.
I have nipples and a butt.
You can rape him.
Oh, well, with that logic, I apologize. I guess I got to suck some random person on the internet's dick.
So anyway, we'll just skip the game. We'll go right into O'Brien's retro review.
I picked a game that is going to be so easy to recognize.
You gave it away earlier, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
just by doing the music. The
Yeah.
Halo.
Did you play so much of that game?
I played so much Halo. I really actually did. I should have probably started with that. I guess I didn't say that one that often as much because I was like, I'm going to go to the music. Yeah, dude. I guess I'm really not picking one in particular. I guess in my mind, maybe I'm focusing on the first one just because it was the first one. But it's a game that actually made shooters cool again.
Yeah.
Every Call of Duty guys out there playing, I love Call of Duty. Call of Duty's way better. Call of Duty wouldn't be there. EA wouldn't have made it if somebody didn't make shooters really popular, first off.
Right, exactly.
You know, Battlefield, all shooters, for the most part, that are popular now and well played, owe their nuts to Halo. It also made a console. You can't say that about too many games.
Yes.
It also made Bungie.
It created the Xbox.
Like, honestly, I never even thought about this, but would Xbox be around if it wasn't for Halo? I mean, I'm sure it would.
maybe not to the degree that it is.
It's tough to know. Maybe something would have filled the void. You never really know.
you can't say.
But
But
the
man,
thing
it's something to think about, though.
Think about Red vs. Blue. You know, or the Arby and the Chief. You know, there's
Arby and the Chief. That
I
shit
love
was
that.
fucking funny.
I never saw
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used a little like 2 action figures. One was the Chief, one was the Arbiter, and they were roommates. And it was just the
It
Chief.
was all text to speech.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
great.
and the Chief was essentially just only spoken lead speak and act like a gamer, like I Uber hacked this, la 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 la, and
Yeah.
then the Arbiter's like the logical straight man. You
It's
know,
like Pinky in the Brain, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and it was
Okay.
really funny.
That's nice.
IR have recon armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can has recon armor. You know, he kept going for the recon armor. It was really funny. But, you know, it had all this stuff. It had, like, you know, the animation movie stuff. It had all these different genres. I think they have comic books for Christ's sakes. And Halo Wars, it even spin off to another genre, which I actually really like that game.
It's one of those games that has surpassed being said it's a good game.
Yeah.
It's an infamous game now.
It really is. It's not saying it's Mario, but it's on that plateau of Mario, Sonic
it's
games
a
like this.
system-defining game, and it's an iconic
I think it
game.
is on the same plateau as Mario.
It probably
because
is.
it did define a generation of systems.
I remember we went to that fucking, what was it, Halo 2 that was releasing? Me and you went to that Game Crazy place. And
Yes,
I
yeah.
remember which Halo it was, but I mean, it's like, there's a release parties for it. I mean, it's crazy. They were having tourneys.
Well, dude, I worked at GameStop whenever Halo, I think it was Halo 2 when it released.
Probably 3, because I don't think you were at GameStop when we went to that release party, because that was Halo 2.
But I think it was a different thing, though. I think it was like maybe like
okay.
the next day. We did a midnight release for.
I thought maybe it was 3, because I think that one was 2 or whatever.
I'm about 75% sure that it's Halo 2.
Question: does it matter?
Nope.
Not at all.
Okay.
But I just remember we went to that party thing. It was really cool.
We had, and this was before like midnight releases were a huge deal. I mean, midnight releases are always fun to go to, you know, with like movies and that kind of stuff. But like video games, we never really had much. And I worked at GameStop for about 2 years. And it was like our first big midnight release. And we had like 400 reserved copies of this game. And we had 250 people pick it up at midnight that night. We had a fucking, like a H3 out there with a fucking big screen in the back of it. People were playing video games in. And we had, like, people walking around handing out fucking swag. And it was just a really cool thing. I mean, it was really nerdy. But it was a really, in that realm of things, really kind of cool. And it's like, that was the first game that I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is big.
Yeah. Also, another thing to add about them, even Smite, they use True Skill.
Yep.
Where do you think True Skill fucking came from?
Right.
All the really good matchmatching, which no offense to Smite, its matchmaking is nowhere near as good as...
Be careful.
Because all the fucking Smite people are like, fuck your True Skill. This shit's terrible. I don't want it.
Well, you know why? Because you're not using it like it. Halo 1 had better matchmaking than
Halo's matchmaking was amazing. That's one...
But the True Skill's built from Halo. The difference is Halo actually puts people together with their skill level.
Yes. And they do it in a way that is easy. You lose a match, you go down. You play with people that are worse than you. You win a match, you go up. You play with people that are better.
It is an easy balancing. In theory, I'm just saying, like, not to knock, but that's what they're kind of going, is actually, like, you read Smite, actually, they're using a True Skill system.
With a true Skill or ELO system, you should have about a 50-50 win ratio. Unless you're the best of the best, and you create that curve.
Yes.
It doesn't happen otherwise.
No.
You may have a 55% for a while. But anybody who's like, I got a 90% win. No, you don't. If you do, you're not going to have it for long.
No,
you shouldn't. Playing people that
either you're the best person in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, like, that's something you can say about Halo. Really set the bar with that. Their maps were so massive. The vehicles. I mean, just the things they do with it. And also, another thing I want to say too, that we keep mentioning about all the spin-offs for the movies and the comic books, stuff like that. Its story. Call of Duty, Battlefield, all those games need to get on their knees and suck the dick of Halo's story. Yes. Halo has an amazing... I know people who just wanted to watch the story. People played 3 who didn't even care for the game just to know what happened.
Right.
I'm sorry. The story was fucking awesome.
It had RPG level story in a shooter.
It did. And the lore behind the Spartans and how they were designed, it was really, really cool.
Because they went for an all-inclusive thing. It wasn't just, here's some lasers, you shoot aliens. It was not like Call of Duty. The original Call of Duty was fine because it recreated a war.
Yes. Oh God.
And that's different. You actually might get attached.
Completely different.
But if you go to Blops,
Modern Warfare.
It wasn't that bad of a story. It was okay. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I won't lie. But I was never attached to my character. I've been attached to Chief.
Yeah.
I was attached to Master Chief. I was attached to the sergeant. The guys he was with. Although most of them died horrifically because I didn't really care about them. I just let them die. But for the most part. Not to mention, like, it reminded me of Aliens, the second Alien movie. I loved. It's like, it's not Sergeant Ape Home, but it's the black guy that's the sergeant escaping me from Halo. But it's the same kind of thing, which they ripped off. But it's like, you're into that. You know these people. You know the story, or Cortana, or whatever, the Flood story. It's a really cool angle, and it was unlike anything else.
Yes, and then Mass Effect came along, which is more of an RPG.
Yeah.
But there's a reason it should have a decent story.
Sure.
Of course, everybody cried about the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Which I still have no idea what it is.
You know how much I care?
You don't?
Not at all. The amount of fucks I give are
Mass Effect 1 was fun. I never played 2. 3 looked neat.
I don't like sci-fi so much, I never give the games a chance. Which is exactly why I didn't play Halo. I hate... People fucking freak out that I've never seen Star Wars. I don't fucking care.
Now, I'll admit I'm more of a fantasy nerd than sci-fi. I prefer medieval times to
literally
sci-fi
like
a million
100%.
times.
I mean,
however, I like sci-fi. I enjoy it. I don't dislike it. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars or Star Trek or any of that shit.
I like Star Wars, but I'm not the...
I haven't even seen any of the new ones.
You know why I don't like sci-fi? Because everybody
tells you have to watch sci-fi?
No, because every single fucking time, they're like, in the year 2000... And then now the year 2000's here, we don't have fucking flying cars.
Not all
in
of
the
them.
year 2050. Now we don't... we're going to get to 2050, and none of that shit is going to be there. Because you're just picking... At least do in the year 4000, That's more realistic to me.
Halo's pretty far in the future.
What is it?
Like 2,500 or something ridiculous.
So we could be living on the moon on a circular
I'm not sure the
spaceship.
exact year Halo. I know it's far in the fucking future.
I don't... It's just the thing is that, like, sci-fi is never realistic to me.
Well, like, think about, like, a good...
Because
it's
it's
a video
science
game.
fiction?
Well,
No,
so is fantasy. Fantasy's
just
fiction too, but
I'm
at
just fucking with
least
you.
I see a bow and arrow. I was like, yeah, those existed.
Well, like, and using this example, Warhammer 40K, they have a lot of video games. That's the reason it's called 40K is because it's the year 40,000.
Right. And
That's
that
far
is
enough in the future
where
I think you're pretty safe with anything you want to
all
do.
believability is completely.
Yes.
I can get it.
Dude, I'm
Exactly.
going to predict that we
Behind
year 40,000.
Well, it's kind of like if you go by Back to the Future.
40,000.
If you do Back to the Future, next year's hoverboards, man.
Yeah.
2015.
2015 is when we have hoverboards.
Do it.
Now, if fucking hoverboards come out next year, I will watch every Star Wars front to back in a row, and I will masturbate furiously while I'm doing it.
You know somebody's going to link a hoverboard in chat or in the mailbag.
No,
or something.
I don't want to link. I want to see no prototypes. I want to see a fucking hoverboard that's used.
Bear in mind, you're probably not the first guy to masturbate to Star Wars
Probably
from front
not.
to finish. George Lucas. I love you, C-3PO or whatever.
C-3PO, he's a bitch.
You know, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Jar Jar Binks is the best character.
You're such a troll. I'm not even like a Star
Who's
Wars
the Jar
apologist,
Jar?
but honestly, like watching that episode is so cringing. Even if you don't care about Star Wars, you watch it, you're just like, what the fuck is this thing doing in here?
Yeah.
It's so out of place.
And we got off rail about the sci-fi thing. I understand what you're saying. Like, for me, it doesn't bother me as much. But if you just look for purely for gameplay, it is such. And when you, here's a good example. We talked about AI earlier too. When you amp up the AI on that game, the monsters are smarter.
Right.
It's not that they die, not that your shots suck. I mean, sometimes it does take a little more to kill them. That's because they hide behind their shields. They flank you. They're more aggressive at times. They actually have good AI.
Right.
I remember, I didn't play a lot of the storyline. I think you guys were playing one day, and I hopped in, and you guys were on one of the harder difficulties, and it was one of the last stages. And as far as story mode shooters in that part, I'm not that bad. I'm not a great shooter player. I'm really, really not. But I got in there, and I just got fucking wrecked. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because it blew my mind, because they were doing shit that I was not used to seeing in a shooter at that point. And I will say kind of something that, and I know it wasn't the first one to use vehicles. I know you mentioned vehicles, but it was the first one in my mind that made maps big enough to where you could use vehicles that were the Banshee and the Warthog, that were substantial vehicles, not just like a tank or a car, and you use them on the map to gain tactical advantage.
Yes.
And yes, they were a little overpowered, and they were
No,
annoying
that's
as
what I was
fuck.
actually going to say. To me, actually, you look at Battlefield, I'm sorry, dude, tanks, all that stuff, they're just so overpowered. You weren't going to go on a 20 kill streak in a fucking Warthog. You're going to get rocket launched and kill. It would be good for a moment to get there, to gain an advantage. You weren't going to usually win the game by having a Banshee.
Well, there is an issue with that. Is that in Halo, there's only two vehicles. The thing about that is was there three now? I don't know.
Well, back then there was always three.
What was the third one?
There's a different kind of like a little skimmer that stayed. There's a spaceship. There's a Banshee that flies.
Oh, that wasn't really like a fighting
But
vehicle, though, was it?
Same as a Warthog. You
Oh,
could fuck
really?
people up if you got them caught.
Well, see, that shows you how much fucking Halo I played. But anyway, there's three vehicles then. When you see a vehicle, you're like, fucking gotta kill that thing. In Battlefield, there's like 30. So
No,
you're like,
I
oh,
get
fucking
that.
shit's coming from everywhere.
I gotta
Where
kill
do I
all of
aim?
them.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm angry. And we used to with certain people, it's like, I'm just going to get in a vehicle and stay in a vehicle, and you couldn't kill a tank. It took fucking forever. That would annoying to me. Because the guys in the planes, that just annoys me because why you're up there, you're not helping the team at all. You're just
Unless
fucking,
you're good at it.
Yeah,
and then
but-
it's fucking the
but
most
a lot-
frustrating thing
but a lot of
ever.
those stages where you can hide in buildings and do stuff, you can kind of avoid them.
Well, the problem is it takes coordination. It takes 4 people to be on an engineer class and shoot something down or blow up tanks, and it takes a focused coordination.
Yeah, and I'm saying I just don't really care for the vehicle play as much. I love Battlefield. I don't
Yeah.
care as much for the vehicle play because I just find it to be not needed.
And on PC, I don't know, I surely doubt you could do this on the console, but on PC you can play no vehicle servers, and it's actually really fun to play on no
Imagine
vehicle
better.
Huh,
servers.
that's interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Problem is nobody wants to play that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you play Call of Duty, you play hardcore mode. It's pretty fun because you can't be a douche and just hide. You get shot once or twice, you're done.
Yeah.
But nobody plays hardcore.
I loved hardcore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, and when you said like the tactical part of the map stuff, it just was so balanced. The maps were good. The weapons were good. There's so many good weapons. I actually personally like the armor shield. The fact that you could get shot and not instantly die allowed you to be tactical. You'd run. You'd have to be very accurate. Accuracy was
in and out.
Yep. I loved it.
The thing that I dislike about Halo is the fact that it didn't create, but it pretty much created regenerating health.
Yeah.
I mean, with the shield, now every shooter ever, you get hit in the face 4 times with a fucking rocket launcher.
And you're at 1 health.
Health. Oh, just wait 10 seconds. I'm fully healthy again.
But what did we just talk about? Nobody wants to play hardcore.
Right.
And that's the reason.
I'm a Counter-Strike 1.6 player. Counter-Strike 1.3 is when I started. You got hit for 90 damage, you stayed at 10 health for the rest of the round. You fucking fell off of a step and took 9 damage, you were at 1. Literally anything's going to kill you. And that's how you stayed. And I remember playing matches where I was alone at like 90 health or 60 health, whatever. There's like 6 people left, and you'd kill them all, and you'd feel like a fucking god. I don't feel that way in those types of shooters where you regenerate health. That's one thing I'll disagree with you with, is it can make it more tactical, but at the same time, it can also make it really fucking cheap.
No, there's both points, and I agree with that. Like, I preferred it, less of it in Call of Duty, and Halo didn't bother as much.
It was the same thing, though.
It was, but I just didn't maybe the game formats.
Yeah.
Because if you still have good accuracy, if I use an assault rifle and I fucking pop you in the face, your shield's not going to help you much on that one.
Well, and also, you remember GoldenEye?
Or Sniper, for that matter.
GoldenEye, you'd pick up a vest of armor. You got hit, you took damage.
But you didn't regenerate your health.
You didn't regenerate health, you didn't regenerate armor, but you could find more armor.
Armor was OP as fuck, though.
I'm okay with that, but I don't want it to just... I got hit with a bullet.
Or if you get a health pack to regenerate...
in my chest. Yeah. Let me go sit in this corner for a second. I'll be right back, guys.
BRB healing.
All right, I'm good. You know?
Granted, it's a war where you're responding, so a little bit of... It's for the sake of gameplay, but regardless of that, I just think when you look at all the shooters... And once again, this is a game like, go back and play Halo. I'm sure people who's listening to this has played Halo.
Oh, probably.
I certainly hope so.
The point is, go play Halo Wars. That's a great game. It's a game that all these shooters, for a large portion, really come from and to really appreciate it. And not to mention, just think about Microsoft and the platforms of games we have. Could you imagine if it was Nintendo and Sony right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, it'd be terrible. Sony would be bending us over and fisting us.
Yep.
They already are. Not really.
Trying to. But, I mean, the thing is, it built a system. Not too many games do that. And it's a game I remember, like, our rocket launcher.
Our rocket launcher duels were epic.
Our things, because honestly, we talk about our Call of Duty pistols. That was after Rocket Launcher World.
Yeah.
Not only, so basically what you're getting ready to say, or what you're getting ready to talk about, because I didn't do these much with
Multiplayer
you guys.
was way better.
But the thing I'm saying is that not only did it have a console defining moment, it had friendship defining moments as well.
Correct.
Yeah. Like, I'll try and make it fairly short here. O'Brien, myself, and our friend Jim used to play a lot of Halo. And O'Brien's traditionally been better at shooters than myself and definitely Jim. Jim's not a gamer like we're gamers.
No.
But we all enjoyed sitting around playing Halo. So what we decided to do is, and it became like a 7-game series, and it ended up becoming Jim versus me. And we'd play rocket launchers, and I forget what the level was. We played on the same level every time.
It's the multi-level one, like it's like you're in a base.
You like go up ramps and shit. I know exactly.
And I hate
it's like bluish, isn't it?
I will say I hate rocket launchers in essentially every game.
Yeah, because it's just a douchey way to win.
Yeah,
but
it's like a noob tube.
Yeah,
but essentially it was just kind of a fun match for Jim and I to do, and we ended up making a 7-game series, and I won every 7-game series except one.
And that one was probably the most epic shit that ever happened.
Jim was so excited. Like,
did he jump on the bed?
He didn't jump on the bed.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I will say he kept a lot of them close.
Yes.
They weren't like fucking Spank Fest, but I mean, usually when it came down to... Because it was... Not only was it a 7-game series, each round was the first one to get 25 kills.
Whew.
So it might be 25 to 22. They weren't like 25 to 10s.
I usually, like, the individual games were pretty close, but the actual series, for the most part...
No, they were usually in 5 games.
I didn't go 4-0. It was usually, 5 or 6. But the one that he had, the 7, it was, like, right before softball or something like that, and it was just like, oh, well, he just won. And I was really, really happy for Jim on that one.
Yes. So, I mean, it's a game that I remember... And then about multiplayer, we mentioned how we like multiplayer... It's the best. You can still go right now. We can go online and play with a bunch of guests.
Yeah.
Unlike Call of Duty or unlike fucking even Battlefield, you can't do that. You can do that immediately right now.
Come on, you have the resources to fucking do it. We know it exists, cocksuckers. We can do it. Fucking just let me do it. I would play shooters so much more. So much more. I would own a console right now. I don't own a console. You know why? Because fuck consoles, because I can do everything on my PC that I can do on a console except for console-specific games. The only reason I would buy a console right now, and I'm probably going to buy a Wii U just for Smash Brothers, but you know why? because I can sit in the fucking room with you guys and play it and fucking laugh at you when I kill you, or be like, oh my god, that was how'd you do that, you cocksucker? That was amazing. And that's what consoles should be, and they're not now. You're basically taking what used to be a gathering, and you're turning it into PC gaming. You're turning it into all online.
Yeah.
PC gaming is single player until you connect to the internet. Console gaming should be multiplayer in my house if I want it to be.
Yes.
Fuck me.
Yeah, well, okay.
All right, done. Next segment.
In summation, I guess I would like to see more games take what Halo's done.
Yes.
They've all ripped, honestly, no offense to Call of Duty, all those other ones, they've ripped a lot of what Halo's done. However, I really wish the multiplayer, the level design, the balancing, the
especially the storyline. I think that's one thing that people aren't paying attention to a lot of times. And they were
somewhat different. And also graphically, it was a beautiful game graphically.
Oh, yeah.
It did all the things. It had great music, the orchestral score of it. I can't sing you fucking Call of Duty 4's music. Fucking know any of it. It's just probably, whatever cheesy shit. I don't know. Every person would know.
Versace.
It's that level of good. We all know Halo's music instantly.
Yes.
We all know who Master Chief is. It's writing, it's giving characters, make more Halos.
And we all know Elder Scrolls music.
Yeah.
Because you know why? It's
fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's very, very good.
And memorable. So, make more Halos.
All right, well, we got a couple games coming out here soon that are actually kind of relevant, which is unusual.
Change of pace.
Well, we usually don't do this segment because lack of games.
Point.
We're gonna have games to talk about,
Let's
guys.
Get into the season.
Oh my god, new games! My penis is hard.
So,
not really about the games. Not personally, my penis isn't hard for these games that are coming out.
I can see it.
I'll give it to you. You can have it. Wow. But no, the games that are coming out that might be relevant to people who care about games. Assassin's Creed.
Freedom Cry or whatever?
Yeah, that one. Freedom Cry.
Apparently it's like a...
Cry freedom!
I got like half my face.
So this was apparently originally was going to be a DLC for Black Flag.
Add-on to Black Flag?
And I guess they decided to say, fuck it, we're EA, so...
Maybe Henry Rollins got upset about it,
I hate when that happens. So I guess they're going to release it as a full-length game or something.
For PS3, 4, and PC?
Sounds
Is
good.
it going to be on 360 or 1? I don't know.
Maybe not yet. Maybe it hasn't been released yet. Maybe it'll be a different release date.
Maybe they'll say, fuck it.
Yeah, I would. Did that come out today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
I don't fucking remember.
What is today?
What is today? The 19th?
What day is this?
Where am I?
What month is this?
Almost the 20th.
It came out today.
Wow, that space there.
Well, I'm going to edit that out, obviously.
So it actually came out today then?
Yeah, it came out today.
Right.
Hurrah.
So by the time
the
you hear
PC
this,
version will not come out for another 4 or 5 days.
Fuck.
5 or 6
Fuck you,
days.
PC fans.
Well, never
PC
mind.
Master Race.
That's right. But then in the
other
other news, Thief is officially releasing the 25th.
Which, by the way, I was you were correct, and I was kind
Dick.
of like, I don't know. O'Brien was correct in the fact that it was like Thief 4.
Oh,
but the reason it's only called Thief is because it's a series relaunch. There hasn't been a Thief game since like 2008 or something.
So
like
they're just starting the series over then?
I have no clue. I don't know anything about it. I haven't done any research, but I really think I would like.
I
to
thought
follow
it was a reboot. That's why I knew it was Thief 4. It had multiple Thief games, but I thought it was a reboot, maybe.
And I
forget
forget
reboot
which.
to me means new game.
Yes.
The only Thief that I ever played, I forget which number it was, but it was really good. It struck me as something that you would just be really excited for. Sneaky
I'm seriously, now that we're talking about these sneaky games, I am going to download the Hitman game. I fucking love it. I think it was Absolution was the newest one.
I have it.
I fucking love Hitman games. And
why don't you do that,
all
then?
the Metal Gear Solid games, I loved all those. I don't know why I don't play them anymore. But yeah.
I guess that's the only. There's a handful of other games that are
Bullshit.
mobile games.
Flappy Bird 2, Flappy's Revenge or something.
Does he really need revenge?
He does. Those fucking pipes are dangerous.
You know how many Flappy Birds have died?
Probably
Hitting pipes.
It's
What
sad.
stupid fucking birds.
What a stupid idea for a game. But that guy made a lot of money, so I guess he's smarter than we are.
I read something that he made like $50,000 a day.
It's
Like what?
Why did he take it off then?
Apparently he was getting like death threats and shit.
For what?
For how bad the game was and how shitty of a ripoff of every single other game
Who
ever.
cares?
I know. I
$50,000
would sell...
I would let you threaten me for every day of my life for $50,000 a day.
You can even try right now.
I'm putting this out here right now. If you promise me $50,000 a day for an
Any amount of time.
extended amount of time, I would lick a penis right now.
Done.
Maybe twice.
What about like $5, maybe 10?
$5, which is $50,000 a day.
Yeah, I know.
He's way cheaper.
You're trying to.
I'm just testing
Are you
your
lowballing
waters.
me?
A little bit. You look desperate to me right now.
You always
look
desperate.
hungry.
Hungry for some
And
dick.
shaved. You look a little ragged. Maybe a little meat to just spice your life up.
Yeah. That hidden mad's kicking in.
I know. And I've got the cure. It's a disease you suffered for years.
You also suffer from it, just a different strain.
Exactly. You came up with that one because you could not get out of my everything was hit mad. Every
What?
symptom.
It's your fault for having the same nationality or the same letter nationality as me.
I know. Everybody's like, it hit
What the fuck?
Google it. You won't find it out there. It's a disease I made up to try to.
And we're not telling you.
No.
Nope.
Nope. You can guess
You can guess.
to your heart's content.
I would say this. We should have done this as a contest.
if you
can-
guess it,
if you guess what a hit mad is,
we will literally buy you a full-featured $60 game. I will.
yeah. Not to
I'll be
mention,
that
I'll pitch it.
impressed.
I'll pitch in on
if
that.
you guess too, I will also help you out with your hit mad.
Yes.
Because I already know you have a hit mad.
Yeah, everybody has it. It's just when is it going to flare up?
It does. It flares the most inopportune times, and if I'm not there to cure you, there's problems.
And it's only curable by a very specifically prescribed throat salve. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you had a good time, and we'll see you next week.
Deuces.
Peace out.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Gamegasm Podcast.